Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Fraser Park, Ballpark, Sorensen Field, Diamond 1 action for the 2025 National Fastpitch Championship. Day 3 action it is here at Fraser Park, and we've got Diamond 1. We've got a men's game on out in front of us right now. It has just started. It is North Harbour in their black and maroon strip, taking on Wellington in their black and yellow strip. Beautiful day here at Fraser Park. The sun is shining, very much not a hint of cloud. Total contrast to yesterday where we managed to find a bit of rain after about 6 weeks here in Wellington. So much needed, but not needed during the tournament. But never mind, it hasn't hindered us too much. We're still on schedule with our program. We're in the top of the first innings here at Diamond 1. It is a Pitarona up to bat. There's already one out and a runner at one, which is Levi Wilson for North Harbour. While we're mentioning the North Harbour batters, we'll just quickly run through their lineup. They were led off by number 6, Caleb Rona. Levi Wilson, then a Pitarona, who's out there now. Seth Gibson, followed by Brock Attawell. Then it'll be Cohen Bailey, Nick Lanigan, Logan Fraser List, and Gabe Wharepori round out their order for North Harbour. Defensively out there for Wellington, we'll start you out at right field with Riley Markia, Tekarika Cooper Nicola at centre, Damon Creasy at left, Karan Bolger at shortstop, Jerome Ramaki in the hot corner. Second base is Zach Boyd, Wayne Laulu at first base, Jaden Stratford doing the catching to Josh Merritt out there on the hill. It's been an absolutely fabulous tournament, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Gary Rohihi for Beyond the Ballpark Broadcasting, Beyond the Dugout Broadcasting, that is. And at the moment, you'll be listening to me as your play-by-play commentator. I'll try and add a little bit of colour as well. I might get a colour commentator a little bit later. But until then, you'll have to listen to myself. Not a bad thing, though. I quite like doing that myself. It's Josh Merritt out there, rears back to do the pitching. And it is Pitarona who earns himself a walk. Been a bit of a topsy-turvy tournament for the men. Seth Gibson up to bat now. The way things are going, it is any team can beat any team on the day. And we have seen some real challenging games out there. Wellington, to be fair to say, will be looking to do better today with only 2 wins in the tournament so far against North Harbour, who are looking like one of the trendsetters in the tournament, along with Hutt Valley, doing very well as well. Canterbury and Auckland. I'm not sure who's still in and who's out. Day 3, we might be able to call this moving day or positioning day for our teams for the finals. Gene Lutton, coach for Wellington, just having a bit of a cordial with umpire Lance Brown. Lance Brown, who is behind the dish today out there, out between second and first base, is Gavin Shepherd. Dave Fortin doing the umpiring out at third base. Nice pitch, Josh Merritt to get going. First ball strike on Seth Gibson. Vastly experienced umpiring combination out there for you. Just want to mention the weather, though, again, absolutely stunning today here at Fraser Park. Nice hit, Seth Gibson lines one over second base. It's gone out to shallow right field. There's a run going to score. And North Harbour underway with 1 out. Already have a run on the board. Pitarona standing up at third base. And Seth Gibson all the way around to second. Brock Attawell, number 4 for North Harbour. Comes in to do the batting now for North Harbour. Got themselves an early march on Wellington, 1-0 here in the first innings. Brock Attawell having a fine tournament, defensively and offensively on the first day against Canterbury in a very tense, tight match. 0-0 going into the bottom of the 7th. Came in clutch and launched one over the fence for a walk-off single home run to win that game 1-0 over Canterbury on day one. Two balls, no strikes. One down here in the top of the first innings. That one taken on the hands by Attawell. And he heads to first on the hit pitch.
Hit by pitch, thank you. Hit by pitch.
And it is North Harbour with still only one out. They've loaded the bags up here against Wellington. Cohen Bailey, number 5, coming up to bat now for North Harbour as we see the replay of that hit on the hands by Brock Attawell. Safe down at first base. Looks like he's okay with that one. Cohen Bailey, number 5, up to bat for North Harbour. Wellington, a team, vast experience when you look out there. Woo! Nice clear caller strike from Lance Brown. One of the top umpires in the country. Day 2 of the tournament on Diamond 1 was all women's game. What an exciting program that was. We saw some wonderful games on there with Hutt Valley doing very, very well. But also teams like Hawke's Bay proving that going to be a major force in the women's competition. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Cohen Bailey. And I'm about to be joined by Scott Easthope. Can't believe they managed to coddle the dream team together. This looks like another run. 1 comes in, 2 comes in. The ball's fumbled out there, and that's going to allow 3 to come in. Brock Attawell's got some wheels. And there is a rare mistake by the outfielders out there for Wellington. Cooper Nicola and Damon Creasy getting a little bit mixed up out there. Nice job. 3 runs scored, so that means that it is now 4-0. 4-0 to North Harbour in this one. Cohen Bailey is out at second base. Hard to keep up with it. Number 10, Nick Lanigan up to bat for North Harbour. Wellington are going to feel a bit shell-shocked after the start. And joining me in commentary, Scott Easthope. Welcome along, young man.
G'day, Gary. Sorry I'm a little bit late, mate.
No worries, mate. I don't think you knew you were supposed to be there.
No, I wasn't, but I love it, so I'm here.
Good on you, mate. It's a pleasure to have you along. Always love hearing your insights into our ball game.
Yeah, not often you see a team with 3 centre fielders effectively out there.
Yeah.
And it go under 2 gloves.
I know, especially what I consider as outfielders of that calibre.
Yeah. Very, very odd to see that.
It is very. You'll go a long time before you see that sort of error again. But having said that, when you do make them, it tends to cost you.
Yeah, 100%, and it did do. But I was actually quite impressed watching that replay that came through just then, Gary. That
Cooper
Nicola, he made up a lot of ground to be there.
Yeah.
Like, that was a reasonably hard hit ball. Yeah,
no shortage of wheels out there. Both him and Damon Creasy can really move, especially when it comes to scorching around the diamond, but can also make a lot of ground out there in the outfield, along with Riley Markier out at right field.
Yep, Josh Merritt pulling the strings on the change-up there. He owns a lovely off-speed pitch. I don't know if you've ever faced
No, he's too young for me to have faced him.
But I have been struck out by that change-up.
I can tell you what the result would have been right now if I had have faced him.
Yeah.
And there we go. 2 in a row, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, but both, a theme of both pitches, I'm not sure if Pittarona is on the mound today, but what I've noticed a lot out of watching Merritt and Pitta is when they go to the change-up.
Oh, Pitter's got a world-class change-up, there's no doubt. Dylan Fraser List will be doing the pitching for North Harbour.
That's 3 change-ups in a row from Merritt.
It's good to see him using it too. It is a good weapon for him. But he's been a bit of an enigma, it would be fair to say, in his few years on the diamond. He can give up a few walks, unfortunately. But he is definitely, as we see another one, that's a very good change-up. And that strikes out Logan Fraser List on this one. Finally 3 down for North Harbour, but not before they put 4 runs on the board against Wellington. We'll head to the bottom of the first innings when we come back in just a minute. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this brilliantly sunny day. And look, the crowd's out there enjoying it. Now begin with the big screen we've got out there. They're able to see themselves on it. So if you do see yourself on it, give us a wave in the booth. It's a lonely job we have in here. But it's North Harbour taking on Wellington. And it's North Harbour leading the ball game by 4-0. We'll just quickly run you through the lineups for both teams in reverse this time with Wellington batting. We have number 15, Riley Mark doing the lead-off, followed by Tikarika Kupa Nicola, Jerome Ramaki and Wayne Lalu. Quite a 1-2 punch there. Tawera Bishop, Damon Creasy, Jaden Stratford, Karan Bolger and Zach Boyd. Powerful lineup for Wellington. We will head out to the defensive lineup. Out of right field for North Harbour, Gabe Wharepuri, Levi Wilson at centre, Nick Lanigan at left, Caleb Rona at shortstop, Brock Adderwell at third base, Cohen Bailey at second, Seth Gibson at first, Logan Fraser List doing the catching to his older brother, Dylan Fraser List, out on the hill. That is an extremely powerful Wellington lineup. Of course, we'll just quickly mention the Blues again, as we should have an umpire's graphic there to have a look at. We'll just wait for a sec for that to come up. There we go. Lance Brown at home plate, Gavin Shepherd out at first, and Dave Fortin in the screen, in the picture right there, looking very handsome.
Yeah, doing a great job out there, our Blues. Been pretty impressed with the consistency shown so far this week.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't actually know, Gary, do you know whether they streamline the umpires for the NFC? Like they get the best with the best?
I don't know, and there's probably quite a challenge, but I do know they're all undergoing their international licenses this week.
All right.
This tournament, those that aren't already part of the international panel. Obviously with the World Cup in mind.
Here's a big strike for you, Gary.
Yep.
Big hard hit strike down the line there.
It was. Turned on that one nice and early did Riley Mark here. Leading off the hitting for Wellington. That one went all the way over the fence in foul territory.
I haven't seen a lot of this Dylan Fraser List.
And this time it is Gene Lutton who wears one from his batter. Doesn't even rub it. Gino, well done, mate. There, yes.
To be fair, you put a glove on him, Gary, probably snares it.
He would have got it, yes. Yeah, one of the finest.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's not out there playing.
Yep. No, he's probably surprised he's not out there playing too.
Yeah. Riley Markia pulled a couple of balls really hard down the line early here. Looks to be seeing the ball quite well.
And look,
it up early.
Gene's just backed off that line a little bit down there based on that last one.
That is a great pitch.
Fraser thought he had it there.
Yeah, lovely. Good battle brewing here for this lead-off. 3-2. Just what Wellington want to do is make sure they go deep into counts and see if they can get some mistakes. And they have.
Riley Mark here doing the ideal lead-off hitter's role, and that is to get to first any way you can. And in this case, it's a walk. He'll be followed out there by number 4, Tikarika Kupa Nicola. Bats on the other side of the box and can scorch the bases. And we talk about young Tane Mumu setting the stage as far as fast runners around a base goes. Well, this guy's right up there.
Yeah, you're right, Gary. He's definitely right up there. He's quintessential 5-tool type player. He can literally do anything in the game. Throws the ball fairly well, fairly hard, obviously, with the centre field ability, but hits from the left side, short game. Hits for power. There's really nothing he can't do.
That's right. Oh, there we go. What a stunning visual we have. 19 degrees, nothing but sun and the moon. We'll give you everything just in case you haven't got enough to look at.
Yeah, yesterday was the case. If you don't like the weather, just wait 5 minutes.
Just wait 5 minutes. That was yesterday's weather.
Wellington will change it for you.
Yep.
They're looking aggressive early here, Wellington, trying to push the packet on the base pass there. Made a good decision to go back, but there's a good energy coming out of their dugout. They look up for this.
Yeah, well, hopefully they've had a decent corridor, because it'd be fair to say the first 2 days of the tournament. Nice hit! It's gone past the outstretched glove of Caleb Rona, and that moves the runner. None out with Jerome Ramaki up to bat. And nice way to get the runner to 2 from Tikarika Kupa Nicola.
That is absolutely beautiful bat control, Gary. That replay is so nice to see when you can just see him, the way he used the barrel, just literally didn't even swing it, just
laid it on it, didn't he? Just laid it on there.
Beautiful.
Let the impetus of the ball, punched it out through shortstop. Nothing that young Caleb Rona could do about that one. Would have been a spectacular catch if he did take it.
Yeah, it was a good effort. It was good softball, really.
Yeah.
All around. I mean, Wellington, after giving up 4 in the first, they'll just want some traffic in front of these big power hitters in Romy and Waney.
Well, as I said, hopefully they've had a good corridor and talked to each other and G'd each other up, because like I was mentioning, the first 2 days of the tournament won't gone entirely the way that they'll have wanted it to go.
Romy clearly disagreeing a little there on that pitch, Gaz.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, you're right. There's no way that a Wellington team with this kind of talent comes into the tournament and is not expecting to be there come the pointy end of the tournament. So they'll be looking to take the scalp here and really, keep showing people what they have and what they can.
Absolutely. Even if it's just pride involved, these guys are too good to stay quiet forever.
Yeah, 100%. And they'll just want to show that every time they play, regardless of where they're at.
Yep.
They'll just want to make sure they're reminding people, oh, we've got some talent in here. And they do. They've got an incredibly talented lineup.
And on the other side of things, of course, is North Harbour are definitely fully in contention for the tournament. And they won't want to be letting their own standards slip either. So it should make sure today that we get top-notch ball games on Diamond 1 throughout the day.
Wow, there's a battle brewing within a battle here, Gary. Romy really working early to find the zone. Fraser List working the black beautifully, working those tram lines nicely.
Well, I haven't seen a lot of Dylan Fraser List pitch, and so far in only sort of a half an inning of work, or less than that, I've been quite impressed, even though they haven't actually got it out yet.
You not got Facebook, Gary?
Eh?
You not got Facebook?
Oh, really on it, though, like most people. I got too busy. I work too hard, mate.
Yeah, fair enough.
You don't catch me on Facebook at work.
Romy really struggling with a leg injury and absolutely putting it in down the line there to make sure there was no double plays. You see him here. Look, he gets going. He's busting out the box, knowing this could be a close play. But he's pulling up lane on the back of that.
You can't fault the commitment from Jerome Ramaki. He is nursing in what appears to be a thigh injury and is struggling to run. But put it all aside in that 60-foot burst right there to make sure he gives his team an opportunity. It's Ollie Smith that will come in and do the running for them. Runners on the corner now for Wellington with one down.
Yeah, the reason I ask here is because there's actually been some really good cover of that North Harbour competition up there through Beyond the Dugout broadcasting.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Oh, they don't need that.
Here we go. This time it's Wellington. They scorch one in. They make an overthrow, North Harbour. And there you go. Ollie Smith all the way from first base to home on a ball that was only about 7 or 8 feet away from the fielder.
I'd love to see a replay of Riley Markia crossing up home plate here because he doesn't slide and he literally slows up at the plate to get in the way of the throw. And then the ball, the ball literally comes around.
It's just a heads-up play by him because he doesn't, so long as he doesn't alter his line.
Yeah, he's good.
He's good.
Yeah, and it's actually something he's probably taught to do.
Yeah.
As we see the replay here, the ball goes back to the back fence. If you watch Riley here, look, he's watching the ball, and he literally tries to time it to get it.
He did. You can see him. He actually sped up in the last couple of yards.
But that is fantastic heads-up softball.
That's right.
In terms of the game understanding there.
And then you look at Ollie Smith, who launched out of first base, and it seemed to take him probably only about 10 seconds to get from there to home plate.
Yeah, but in my mind, I don't think that run scores if he's not thinking about the timing of home plate.
That's right. Absolutely. Heads up play. Riley Mark here. Oh, Wayne, you don't often see him give dissent on a call, but he gets struck out by Dylan Fraser-List for the second out.
Yeah, even with this, as we see this, another beautiful replay here, and that's a great pitch.
Nicely framed by the catcher as well, though.
but you're right, you don't often see... he'd just run off normally.
Yeah, normally he'd just turn around and go.
So.
But also, you talked about game faces. Well, what I say, game face. But Wellington looking up for this game.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have wanted to go 4 runs to 0 down after the top of the first innings, but here they are battling back nicely.
Well, when you got a lineup that goes from Riley Markia and what we in the 5 spot here with Taweda Bishop.
Yeah.
Damon Creasy at 6. Oh, far out.
Jaden Stratford.
Stratford. Kieran
Zach Boyd, a well-known home run hitter at 9.
Yeah. Yeah, and to be fair, he's probably a little underdone on the softball front, but he is a cracking hitter as well. But just, what a lineup. They'll never be, give up 4 in the first, but you definitely know that they're coming. Here is the replay again of that pitch, just absolutely beautiful.
They're right on the money, that pitch.
Given strike or no?
I'm going to say 2 balls, 1 strike is the count.
So some good consistency back there because that line has been really consistent as to what we've seen from the umpire. Is this Lance Brown behind the plate?
Lance Brown behind the plate of this.
I'll be honest, one of my absolute favourites. I really enjoyed the comms that he has with catches around the zone, around what he thinks is and exactly how far. Like he'll give you, that's half a ball got to come in, or that's nowhere near. That's going to come in a couple of balls.
He's also, you're right, he's a great communicator with the catcher, just to let him know, that this is my zone, and that's where it is.
Yeah, come and find it early.
Yep.
And then we're away.
Yeah, that's right.
Agree or disagree. Again, I feel like we say this all the time, but that's all you can really ask for.
That's right.
That is a great pitch on the inside.
A couple of years ago, and I know they focused on it maybe 2 or 3 years ago, you wouldn't have got that call.
On the inside?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. But they have focused on it since then, and it is so good to see the pitchers being given that area of the plate now.
Yeah, I feel like they took a little off the outside and returned it to the inside.
Oh, yeah, they definitely did.
To be the same,
Yeah.
At the end of the day, those white lines on the outside of the plate.
They've just shifted the whole width of the strike zone, about a ball width.
either
back
side.
onto the inside.
Yeah, which you got to love that. It gives no advantage to where players set up at the plate.
Yeah.
Whether you're in a little tighter or whether you're a little further away, it's, you're not going to get caught out on consistently on a zone that is better for an outside pitch than it is for an inside.
It just helps the pitchers as well because, like you say, a batter can't set up knowing they maybe have to swing on an outside pitch, but they can always leave an inside pitch. And there's a perfect example of what you just said right there, which was extremely close.
I don't think I'm going to give that as. I'm not going to. Actually, probably best we don't comment on that one. Lance, I think you missed that one, bud.
Well, didn't we say they were allowed to miss 1 out of 100?
Oh, well, yeah, great pitch on the inside there, Gary. There you go. You get that little half ball in.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll come back to it. But
Damon Creasy strikes out as the third out. Wellington fight back with 2 runs of their own. They still trail North Harbour by 4-2 after 1 complete innings. We'll be back. More action in just a minute. Nice work. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. They got the scoreboard man there on the screen. He's looking after the scoreboard for you guys here at Fraser Ballpark for the running of the 2025 National Fastpitch Championship. Day 3 action, Wellington versus North Harbour. And it is North Harbour after 1 complete innings who are leading by 4 runs to 2. So plenty of scoring action early in this one, Scotty.
Yeah, and we talked about how Wellington looked really, really good in the box, and this could get tight really quick, even though North Harbour got 4 in the first. So the question is, who's going to win the game, Gaz?
The big question.
And
we want you guys to answer.
That's it. If you go onto our Facebook link there, where hopefully a lot of people are watching the game from, there is a poll on there that's gone up. We would love to hear what you guys think. Who's going to win this game, Wellington or North Harbour? Get across. Put your little vote in, support your team if you like, and we are about to find out.
Be as unbiased as you want. If you're a North Harbour supporter, if you're a Wellington supporter.
Yeah, just go and root for your team.
Yeah, it's right.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. That's what
Let's
we all
go
love
Red
to
Sox.
do. That's what sports is all about.
Yeah, unashamedly.
Yep.
Red Sox 2025 World Series champions.
Wow,
So-
there we go. Despite North Harbour's 2-run lead.
Yeah, early on it looks like 65% of the people believe Wellington might go on to win this game, even though they are currently losing 4-2.
Or, as Josh Merritt can't make the play to Wayne Laulu on that one, and it is Gabe Wharepuri who earns himself first base courtesy of a very quick run to beat out that throw.
Have you, I mean, the replay's up there. That is a quintessential pitcher throw to first.
Well, there's a few guys around, and that's pretty insulting there, Scotty.
No. I mean, I'm quite tight with Josh. I like him. He's a good dude.
Oh,
He
not
won't
to
mind
Josh,
me
just
saying.
the pitchers in general, I mean.
Well,
But you're right, usually pitchers don't have to throw the ball too far.
Well, I'm wondering if Regan Manley's watching.
Oh, I wasn't going to mention Regan.
He is absolutely horrendous at throwing the ball to first
Regan, if
base.
you're listening, I never mentioned that was Scott, who meant Scott Easthope. You know where he lives?
If you guys are on our Facebook and voting as to who you think will go on to win this game, leave a comment if you've played with a pitcher who was horrendous at throwing at the first base.
Yes, I understand.
Just
There's
call them
a few
out.
of them out there.
Yeah. What were you like, Gaz, throwing the ball to first?
Oh, I was absolutely sensational.
You know, Brad Baker, I was playing in a game and I hit one straight back to Brad Baker and he goes to the first baseman, rise ball, and pitched it to first.
Oh, is that right?
And after the game, I says to him, what are you doing that? I found that a bit on the nose. He goes, no, I can't throw it over there. I'll hit my spot with a pitch.
Yep. No, I've had a couple of shockers.
Yeah.
You know, you turn around, go to throw it, it dives in the dirt and ends up over by the blooming dugout. You know?
Well, I don't know what pitches sometimes that, you know, they field the ball and all of a sudden it's a shot put.
Yep.
And they just spike
Or
it.
the other one is when you go reach down to get it and your hand's like...
Oh, I just can't do anything with it.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, for all our pitchers out there, we're not having, you know, you guys do a great job. And actually, out here this week so far, the pitching has been awesome on both the male and the female side.
Oh, yes,
been
no,
really impressed.
it's good to see the depth that teams are bringing to their games. Wellington have got a little bit of corduroy out there. They haven't got an out. And Caleb Rona earned a walk down to first base. So North Harbour runners at 1 and 2.
I watched North Harbour play Hutt Valley yesterday, Gary, on my time off, and I saw Cohen Bailey playing second base, and I thought they must rate this kid.
Yeah.
Because Brock Atwell's playing first base, and we know what he can do up the
Oh,
middle.
Brock Atwell at third, and you know where we do normally see him.
Yeah.
And he's already made some stunning plays for North Harbour at second base.
Yeah.
But you're right.
Yeah, and for
right.
me, it just signalled, it was like, oh, they must, you know, this kid must
Yep.
be decent. And to watch him out here using those tools and run the bases like that, you're like, oh,
Yep.
he looks
He's gonna be a talent.
special. Yeah, he looks pretty special.
Because we all know that what a talent Brock Atwell is. Obviously, got himself into the Black Sox last year.
Yeah,
And batted extremely well.
And it just, you know, obviously for me, it was just looking at that lineup, I'm like, wow, they've got a sharp-looking infield.
Yeah.
In terms of range, in terms of glove work.
If you have to make room for a young fella by moving a Black Sox, then that's right. Absolutely.
And you know, we can say maybe leaving room or making room, but for them, they just probably feel like it's the best defensive lineup they can put out there.
Yeah.
And Brock Atwell at third base, excellent. Or first base, or wherever they play.
Wherever they put him.
Yeah.
Josh Merritt, going back to pitches, just struggling to find the zone now with North Harbour. They've already had one conference, and this time he finds the strike zone. Levi Wilson is out there batting, and dangerous times once again for Wellington. They've fought their way back to a deficit of only 2 runs after 1 innings. They won't want to go too far behind again.
They certainly won't, Gary, as this is an important pitch coming here as he misses low.
And that's another walk. Scott, how long do you leave this going?
Well, if I'm honest, it being Josh, again, no disrespect to Josh, but sometimes he loses the feel for the drop ball.
Yeah.
And he then lives off low rise and change up, and he has a fantastic change up, but he can lose the zone a bit, as we see Gene Lutton come out here now and maybe have a bit of a chat. So for me, with Josh, knowing that he can lose the zone a little bit, they may not give him as long out there as maybe, say, turning to Riley or turning to the Canadian fellow who pitches
Banner,
for Island Bay. But there's no debating. Josh Merritt has really good stuff. Like, I think he's
always been a talent, and it's something that I was touching on before we went out at first base. He does has had a history of just letting himself down with walks.
Yes. And he'd be okay with that. He knows that.
Yeah.
But it's never a problem of stuff here as we see him leave the diamond, and potentially they're not going to leave it any longer than this.
Yeah.
And it's something that, you know, it's tough to see because you know what he can do.
Enormously talented, but Scotty, I'll just leave it there for just a sec. We'll take a break, and this pitching change brought to you by Beyond the Dugout Broadcasting.
Tamariki Ora is a well-child health nurse-led service, providing health assessment, early interventions, education and health promotion, and whānau care and support. For further details, contact the friendly team at Tamariki Ora Waifetu, phone 566 8214. The Mighty Whāngai Iwi Panel, a partnership between New Zealand Police, Ministry of Justice, and Te Runanganui o Te Atiawa.
All the best throwback 90s and more.
Atiawa Toa.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. The pitching change is made, and all the way from Vancouver Island in Canada, it's Ryan Banner comes in to do the pitching for Wellington. Unfortunate, we were talking about it before we went to the break. Young Josh Merritt, hang in there, young man, because you've got too much talent, so just keep working on it. Ryan Banner, who has been asked to do the job now for Wellington.
They also have a young fella on their roster too, don't they, Wellington? Pitcher out of Island Bay? No, Porirua. Porirua's young fellas on their roster throws. Number 11.
Jaden Harris. So they do have another pitching option there with Riley and Jaden Harris. Yeah, that's an interesting question, and it's probably been something that Riley's probably talked about as well himself. He could be a pitcher at all levels of the game if he wanted to be. He has in the last few years made way for his batting and all-round prowess. I suppose you call him a utility these days. Yeah. But yeah, definitely has or could be a pitcher of international quality. Yeah, well, Riley could literally, whatever he turns his hand to, he looks like he could do a pretty good job. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, I totally agree. And you're not losing much in a team situation when you've got good pitching by having Riley out in the field and batting. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting getting Thomas Cameron's views yesterday, Gary, about how much you have to commit to it, though. Yeah, absolutely. And for him, when he was pitching, it was like, I'm not doing anything else because I need to be the fittest. I need to condition my body to be the best pitcher I can be all the time and get through tournaments. It must be tough for the Rileys in that to stay ready, but to be obviously what they need to be in the lineup. You talk about commitment. I mean, I know the commitment to get to the level that Thomas was, full-on international quality. We're talking about a former world champion here. And he mentioned it. He goes, I don't have the time to throw 1,000 pitches a week anymore. Yeah. And, these young boys, especially if you're still in school, lads, that's the sort of level of commitment, if you're a pitcher, that you're going to have to get to attain those sorts of levels of achievement. And Thomas Cameron, he should know. He says if you're going to be a top international pitcher, you've got to be the fittest man on the team. Yep, and he's literally, I watch him in his videos weekly of the way he trains our young females at the minute. And he's definitely sort of getting them to practice that preaching element of it. They are conditioning themselves really well. And that arm strength is... Getting them to practice what he preaches, which of course is a work ethic. Oh, there's a nice double play by Wellington. The out taken out at home plate. Jaden Stratford's unhappy with how much he got collected there, but to be fair, that is actually your job. Put yourself in the way. But you know what? He's within touching the base. Like at the end of the day, for all runners out there, you will have been told, and Jaden's quite within his rights to be upset being collected like that, but you're literally told your job is to break the play up. Yeah. So if you can make contact whilst staying in range of making contact with the base. Maybe even if we could get another look at that, guys. Yeah, that's your job as a runner. Yeah. And I think no one likes getting hit. No. But then when it's your turn to actually try and do it. In terms of physicality, this is where the catches really come into it. Jaden Stratford right there. We didn't quite see it, but he got slid into. But he still managed to make the play at first base. And that is kind of the description of a catcher's job, really.
Oh, and in terms of them riding up, hey, mate, you're going to come into the game. What would be great here is if you got us a ground ball and we got 2 outs straight away.
We got 2 outs straight away, which is exactly what's happened.
Unbelievable.
We need to defuse this situation.
Yep.
It's not all the way done yet, though. Seth Gibson up to bat. He hits it straight back to Banner, a pitcher who takes the out, and it is Wellington who managed to get out of that situation without impacting the scoreboard. They still trail North Harbour, however, by 4 runs to 2. We'll see what happens when we come back in just a minute. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2025 National Fastpitch Championship Diamond 1 action here on Sorensen Field. It's Wellington taking on North Harbour. Catcher Jaden Stratford up to bat for Wellington, who we just see collected one of the runners there in the end of the bottom of the innings. We'll see how he bounces back from that with his turn at bat. Very smart player, still a very young man in this ball game, but also enormously experienced.
Stratty?
Yeah.
Yep. In terms of...
This one, he's popped it high, not happy with that one. And it's nicely taken out there by Atiawa at a third base.
At the plate, he's very similar to his old man. He's tough out, man.
Yeah.
Hardly ever gets himself out.
Hence the anger at himself for pop flying that one.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially that early in the count.
Yeah, he literally likes to see a few, but that was right there to be hit, to be fair. You can see why he'd have a crack at that.
This time it's Karan Bolger comes in to bat for Wellington. One of Wellington's young guns.
He's really just, he's always been a talent, Kieran, but in terms of cementing his place in the side defensively and starting to lead infield in terms of become that shortstop that, everybody knows.
He's kind of made his way into the team pretty much similar fashion to the way Ollie Smith's doing it right now. He spent a couple of seasons as the DR. Yep. Now he's worked his way into the field. He's a batter of some real quality, as we saw on day one when he launched one over the centre field fence against Auckland.
We forget how young he is.
And yes, you do. You do tend to forget how young these guys are, especially when you bear in mind the experience they've racked up in a short period of time.
I think he might only be 19 still. Might be 19, Max.
Yeah.
But I don't know, for those viewers at home, he can do a lot of things as well. There's a lot of parts to his game. He's actually a reasonably good catcher.
Yeah.
I don't know how much that's being tapped into at the moment because he's such a talented shortstop. But, when he gets behind the dish, he's he's quite good at that too. So it'd be interesting to see whether that becomes something he uses as well.
Well, who does the? Is it Jaden Stratford who does the catching at PK these days?
Yeah, Stratty does a large part of the catching. Kieran helps them out if need be.
This time it's pop flied by Bolger out to right field. It's gone a long way back, but getting underneath it out there was Gabe Wharipuri to take the out for the second out here in the Wellington innings.
Yeah, they've been using Romy a little bit as well.
Really?
Yeah.
I know
Romy's
been a catcher from time to time, but
as we see this lovely replay of how high that went, opposite field in the sun, he's looking into the sun, but manages to do a great job to stay with it.
Made it look easy on a play that wasn't that easy.
Damon Creasy. Nope.
Zach Boyd.
Number
22, Zach Boyd.
Good buddies, those two, though.
Yep.
I don't think they'll mind.
Couple of the Tawa boys.
Yeah. Well, Zach's still at Porirua.
Zach's still at Porirua, but Tawa's where they're from.
Yeah, interesting to see Damo return there this year.
Well, along with Marley.
Yes.
I've gone to Tawa to bolster their ranks, and well done too, because we want to see these Prem 1 men's teams staying in the competition.
And they're tough too, man. Like when they get that whole team together and they're there and they're firing, they're tough.
Yeah, it's good. Good to hear. Gives a little bit of heart to us Wellington supporters. You know who you are out there. There's a lot of us, I hope.
There's only half of you in the commentary team.
Yes, I know, but we're not paying Hutt Valley, so we won't let you play that card.
Yeah, fair enough.
I have enormous respect for. Well, there's not too many provinces in New Zealand softball I don't praise, because I just love seeing them all out there.
Yeah, and you can literally cruise through them and go, Canterbury, storied history in the game, and recently Auckland. Enough said.
Exactly.
Black Sox galore, titles galore.
Yeah. Well, they've got plenty of people up in Auckland. We don't have to support them, Scotty.
Yeah, well, just run them through. But we talked yesterday about counties, and not only they're attending tournaments again to big numbers, but they're having some serious results.
Yeah.
Franklin, rising province.
Yep.
And watching that Heartland, as we see a little ground ball off the bat there for the third out, was promising too, wasn't it?
It sure was. Absolutely it was. 3 down for Wellington here in the second innings, and that is 2 complete. North Harbour leading the ball game by 4-2 over Wellington. We'll find out how it happens when we come back in just a minute. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's Wellington going to work in the field against North Harbour here at Fraser Park. And Scotty, after yesterday's weather, it is absolutely gorgeous out there today.
Yeah, we're back to that. We're back to that standard Hutt Valley weather.
Hutt Valley weather, eh?
Yeah, this diamond looks a peach.
It absolutely does.
When it's a nice day, you know, and you can see with the lovely pictures they bring you, the one from behind home plate, when you look out to the hills and the trees in the background, it is lovely, and it's good to see quite a few people starting to, you know, the pointy end of the tournament's coming, and here come
the
people
spectators.
to watch. Yeah.
Plus it's the weekend, so you expect a few more people to be around. and there is.
Actually, that's a good point, Gary. It's definitely probably more that than anything, as people aren't at work.
Yeah.
It's a bit more simple than that, Scott. It's just no work today, so I'm going to go to the ballpark.
Yep. But I mean, let's praise Hutt Valley Softball a little bit. Again, they have put on a fantastic tournament. As they always do. They managed to host a wonderful tournament.
Yeah, there's a great little barbecue happening behind us. There's a lovely little coffee cart where I got me coffee.
Yeah.
There's another little food cart just down there. Hey, come down.
Come down.
Enjoy.
You'll feed yourself, and it's actually reasonably priced. Dare I say it? Westpac Trust Stadium.
Yes.
Overpriced, but...
In comparison, we're doing great.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got the lovely people of Aqua are back inside with the juices keeping us going again.
This time, not quite able to be gathered up there. Another... Wellington just making a few too many errors, really.
Yeah,
this time it was Zach Boyd.
What I don't understand about this, Gary, is like this is an Astro turf. It literally, it's not a hard hit ball. It bounces very similarly every time. Hit it on the ground, you should be out.
Yeah, absolutely. And Zach Boyd, another one out there at second base. Too good to make those errors too often. But against opposition like this, Scotty, you just can't afford to do it regularly.
No, you can't, and it's hard to hard for him because he hasn't played as much softball as everybody else. And when he has, there's no way he makes these sorts of plays that.
He's one of those guys, one of those athletes. You know, the talented athletes that look like they've got time.
Yep.
You know, even when you know they haven't got time, but they make it look like they've got time.
Yeah, 100%. And I actually like the defensive alignment of the group here. I mean, I like him at second base because it doesn't displace Kieran as well, who's, we all know Zach Boyd can play a very good shortstop. But it doesn't displace Kieran, who's been really, really good there. And obviously on the corners, they've got Romy and Taweta. And Taweta could go behind the dish in a heartbeat and do a great job, as we know. And
good to see Weta out on the diamond. He's been DPing from the dugout. So good to see him out there on the diamond.
As we get a little look at the bullpen active for Wellington. It's interesting, Gary.
It is. We're still early in this ball game, and they're already onto their second pitcher.
And that's Riley in between innings out there warming up. We've seen Jaden.
Josh Merritt?
No, young fella, Jaden.
Harris.
Jaden Harris out there warming up too. So Wellington looks like they could be preparing to make a number of changes. Having said that, a great pitch strikeout, and he's done such a good job in coming into this game, hasn't he?
He's come into most of the games and stemmed the flow, shall we say, when it's needed. I kind of wonder how well off Wellington would be if he came in and started the pitching. Josh Merritt can hold a team down for 2 or 3 innings, and I would just wonder if that was 4, 5, and 6 instead of 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, tough to say.
It is.
That's coaching, isn't it,
It
Gary?
is coaching.
And to play devil's advocate, if you got someone with the stuff of Josh and you don't start him, and it doesn't go well, you'd be like, maybe
it's all
we should
hindsight.
start a Josh. Yeah, hindsight. So.
And don't get us wrong about young Josh. I've seen him pitch some wonderful 7 innings games. He's definitely capable at this level.
Yep. Wellington got a couple that aren't here that maybe could have been or you would expect to see, and there's some talent in their dugout that could come off that bench as well. I see Aaron Golan as I look down there, talented young fielder, athlete, contact hitter at the plate.
Yeah.
Corey Timu's not here. Fantastic stick in that in anyone's
amazing.
lineup.
Absolutely.
Catcher, first base.
International catcher, first base.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a little bit of talent that's not even here for Wellington.
Lance Brown has been very consistent on that inside pitch.
It doesn't matter how many shake their head at it.
Yeah.
If it goes there, it's same result.
We saw that with Dave Fortin behind the plate the other day and his call on the outside of the plate.
Yeah.
It was consistent. It was perhaps a half a ball wider than some of the other Blues, but it was consistent.
Yeah, well done, the team of umpires, because to come back to that point from much earlier, we were discussing yesterday as well, is around, we're talking about 1 to 2 calls in a game.
Yes, that's
out
right.
of how many they got to make. That's pretty impressive.
It is, absolutely.
And as we see another fantastic pitch catching the bottom of the zone there and striking out. And geez, he continues to do a great job coming into this game. They've now got 2 outs in this third innings and no further scoring. Just what they needed, Wellington.
Well, he's come all the way down to New Zealand from Canada, Vancouver Island, to play for Island Bay in the Wellington competition. This one's launched high and hard. It's gone out to left field, and it's all the way over for a home run. This time it was Logan Fraser List.
Oh, man, I feel like I put the heeks on him.
Sorry. I'll just get the number. 11. Number 11.
Yeah,
it's Logan.
It is.
Who launches one over the field for a home run double.
Yep, 2-run shot off the back of Logan there as we see him cross home plate and celebrate with teammates.
He comes straight to the baseline.
What we will see eventually on this replay, hopefully, is what an effort as well in outfield as this ball's hit really hard off the bat. And you watch him go back here and watch him try and get near this and just bash. Great effort.
Great effort. Damon Creasy shows a bit of commitment out there.
Yeah.
He thought if he got his glove far enough over that fence that he'd put a glove on it, but not to be too well hit on this occasion.
And every coach and every pitcher, and you were a pitcher, Gary, when it leaves the yard, all they want to know is, was it catchable?
Yeah.
And if you go out and put an effort like that, you're like, no, it wasn't, because he would have.
Yeah, that's right. He did everything he could to get a glove on that ball.
Yeah, and he might be paying the price with a bit of a...
Got a bit of bruise up under the ribs there.
Yeah, because he's quite high fences.
Yeah, number 15, Gabe Wharepuri, out there to bat now. Sorry, I had an incorrect number written down for Logan. He's listed on the team sheet as number 7. He's number 11.
Oh, look, Gary, that's gonna be one of the crosses by your name.
No. Here we go. Look.
No, mate, you filled it out incorrectly.
Just look, will you?
I'd never do anything like that. Oh, dear.
I can't afford another era.
Oh, we're going on era rates.
We're going on era rates. I'm going to get subbed.
Trouble.
I'm going to get subbed.
Yesterday's scoreboard effort was absolutely horrendous.
That was a shocker, that one.
Sorry for those who watched some of the games yesterday. I just don't have the ability to sit here.
Some of the supporters enjoying the coolness at the moment. Up against the fence in the outfield. In the afternoons, that goes in the other direction with that sun streaming straight into them. And from experience, I can tell you, it is extremely hot out there.
And we're not quite at the top 10 yet. Come 1 o'clock today, we should get a little warmer even.
Yep. This one's hit hard. Romy it is that picks it up at third base. Fires it across the first base for the out and the third down. But not before North Harbour add 2 more runs to this ball game. They now lead it over Wellington by 6-2. We'll find out what happens when we come back in just a minute. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is now the bottom of the third innings here on Diamond 1, Sorensen Field here at Fraser Park, 2025 National Fast Pitch Championship. North Harbour taking on Wellington, and it is North Harbour who have got a decent margin on Wellington now. 6 runs to 2 they enjoy here in the bottom of the third innings. Back to the top of the order for Wellington. Number 15, Riley Marquia out there, looking to help get Wellington going. He's done a good job in the tournament as their lead-off hitter. Earned a walk in the first innings. As we see, Lance Brown keeps calling those inside pitches. Very shortly, we will have a guest in the booth. It is Dylan Fraser List going to work out there for North Harbour. Did Riley swing on that one? No, he did not. We talk about where the umpires look on these ones the other day. 3 balls, 1 strike on Riley. Never an easy out. He always takes pitches deep into account. This time it's a nice comeback by Fraser List to load the count.
Riley's a really good hunter.
3 ball, 2 strike.
He literally will hunt a certain pitch early, and if it's in the wheelhouse of what he's thinking, hack. But everything else goes by early, which is, you know.
This time he's hit it hard, and there's no question about where that's going as it lands right at the base of the blue fence here at Fraser Park. You can see it in the background there, ladies and gentlemen. Riley Marquia launches a solo shot over the outfield fence for another run for Wellington.
Gary, that left in a hurry.
And you just finished saying it. If it's in his wheelhouse, watch out.
Well, I dare say he was hunting that pitch.
Yeah.
Because he was ready for it.
Well, he liked it. Absolutely liked it.
Found the barrel.
Riley Marquia gets them back into the ball game, 6-3, North Harbour over Wellington. Tekarika Kupa-Nicola up to bat for Wellington now. Number 4, looking to continue this early momentum here in the bottom of the third innings.
TK comes to the plate here now with no one on base, and he'll be completely fine with that. His job was always to find his way on.
Just to reset, he's now the lead-off hitter for Wellington in this situation, with none down.
And a little theme for the tournament, when pitchers struggle a little bit or they start getting onto change up.
Absolutely.
So it'll be interesting to see how much gets developed in. 2 in a row.
This time it's Kupa-Nicola who gets down and pops it into left field. Nicely taken out there by Nick Lanigan for the first out. Nice job by Fraser List on the hill there. 2 straight change-ups. Gets him an out. Jerome Ramaki up to bat now, number 16 for Wellington.
Gets them an out on what pitch there, Gary?
It was a change-up, mate.
Hey?
Yeah.
Change up?
Yeah.
Nostradamus is back, people.
Yeah, mate. Doing the predictions. 2 in a row it was, 2 change-ups.
Yeah, what I really liked about that little sequence there was change up for strike, change up a little bit lower.
Yeah.
Chase.
Yep. Just altered the plane there.
Yeah, and I watched Pitta do similar yesterday.
Damien Collins would say it's all about the angles. Romy watches that one go through. Well, we'll take this opportunity just to introduce our booth guest. Scotty, you've got all the details there, so let's hear who the young gentleman is we've got here with us today.
I've got all the details, but I'm a terrible reader, Gary, but this is Ricky. Ricky, welcome.
Kia ora whanau.
Kia ora, bro. I'm Scotty, and this is Gary. Will be absolutely grilling you today. No, I'm just kidding. How's it been going for you so far, mate?
Awesome, to be honest. I come from a little province in Zingari Softball in Timaru where we play mixed social on a Friday night. To get the opportunity to play in a level like this is phenomenal.
Did you used to have a club down there called Celtic?
Celtic, yes, correct.
Yeah, I've played against them.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
In Timaru.
Yeah, awesome,
many years ago.
Yeah.
How good. So what's brought you to the booth today, mate? How did they choose you?
The old rookie stitch-up, I believe. So. I'd say good looks, but they're saying it's rookies.
So Ricky from Timaru, this is your first NFC then?
Yes, correct.
Enjoying it so far?
Oh, loving it, bro. Just the experience and the knowledge I can take away, just beneficial for me and all the juniors back home. The skills I learn, I can teach and show all them. So.
Oh, that's really good to hear. How's softball in general in Timaru going, Ricky?
It's on a comeback, to be honest. It used to be super strong 15, 20 years ago, and it sort of died off, but now we're bringing it back. Our Zingery club's having our actual 50-year reunion this year, so it's an awesome feat for a club down home.
Nice, man. And we just saw, for the people at home there, Riley Mark here.
Jerome Ramaki.
Romy swing through a pitch and have to absolutely
leg it out
down the line again, the poor fella. But he made it, and here comes the runner. Ricky, back to you, mate. So it says here shortstop outfield, is that right?
Yeah, correct. I down home I say shortstop, but in this tournament I've sort of been playing outstop. Got my opportunity at shortstop in that last game, so absolutely loved it. So.
Yeah, cool. How did that last game go? Who'd you play?
We played Hawke's Bay, so the boys played well, to be honest. Probably our best game we've had of the tournament. So
nice.
For us being Southern Pride, we're sort of all thrown together from different provinces. So
cool.
We're sort of starting to gel together now as a team, which is awesome.
Yeah, awesome. Now, we've got here your club team.
Yep.
Zingari.
Yeah, Zingery. Yes, correct.
Zingery.
Yeah, Zingery softball.
Okay.
There's a Zingery rugby club in Dunedin as well. Zingery Richmond.
Oh, yeah? No, definitely nothing I've come across, but...
South Island thing, mate, you wouldn't understand.
Go to South Island, bro.
Yeah, I've been down a couple of times. And,
we sent you back, didn't we? You didn't have your passport.
Yeah.
They did actually host the Club Nationals a couple of years ago in Invercargill.
Beautiful place to South Island.
Yeah. Actually, that must have been a while back, that Invercargill Club Nets. But because your nephew, Johnson?
Yeah. Son.
Yeah, son. God, I'm all over the show today, people. Sorry about that. But he was down in that Invercargill tournament. Favourite teammate?
Oh, I'd have to shout out to Captain Braden here. He's my roomie as well, so he's been pretty good to me. So I'd have to give him a shout out.
Oh, so basically got stitched up as the rookie, got to come in, get this question of who your favourite teammate is, and if you don't write the captain and roommate, it could be a long day.
Yeah, dead right, bro.
Yeah, but I mean...
That's the political answer. You can tell us what you really feel.
Yeah, who's the real...
To be honest, they're all pretty awesome, to be honest. Like I said, sort of coming from a small province and not playing at this level, so they've all been real super helpful to me. Last game, Drew on second base, his communication and chat was phenomenal, so really enjoyed playing with him as well. So
nice.
Wayne Laulu just striking out for Wellington there for the second out. Here in the bottom of the third innings to be replaced by number 18, Taweta Bishop.
Ricky, you're from Timaru, is there, and you're playing softball down there, but is there any others in the Southern Pride unit from down there?
We've got a coaching staff, so our head coach, Adrian Few, he's from Timaru, Zingery softball member, and our manager, Jason Hampton, he's also from Zingery softball, he's from Timaru as well. So I'm only the second player from Timaru to play in a Southern Pride team, so pretty awesome feat. So.
Yeah, well done, mate. Yeah, it's good to see Timaru coming along.
Yeah.
Yeah, and me and Gary were actually just going through provinces before you came in and you know, some of the impressive feats. And one of the coolest thing about that Heartland competition that sits under the NFC now is maybe the revitalisation of some of those provinces. But when we get Southern Pride coming here, and then we hear stories of players from Timaru getting an opportunity to be in the Southern Pride unit and play at this level, it's what it's about, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
The guys, well, you're an ideal candidate. You come here and you're facing teams that are just absolutely blistering with Black Sox and, you know, that sort of talent. This is the pinnacle of our representative program. It's an ideal opportunity, like you say, to take that experience back to Timaru.
Yes, correct. And most of us are all from small provinces in the South Island where we don't get opportunities like this. So to put a team together for Southern Pride's phenomenal for a lot of us.
So, Ricky, how do you guys prepare then if there's just you kind of from the playing group from Timaru? Like, how do you prepare for the NFC tournament?
To be honest, it was just a lot of one-on-one training. I was pretty lucky with some of my club members down home were spending a lot of time training with me. We come up here 2 days early to sort of gel together as a team and get a couple of trainings in. We had a warm-up game on Tuesday against Tawa, which was awesome. So, yeah, I guess just taking the opportunities where we can.
Who pitched for Tawa, do you know?
To be honest, you're stitching me up here. I'm not too sure. So.
Was he good?
Yeah, he was good. Yeah.
Sam Marley?
Might have been Sam.
Were they saying, come on, Marley?
Yeah, they were. Sam Marley. he come on late in the game, actually,
yeah.
to be honest, and pitched, and he chat quite well. So.
Oh, you're a good man, Ricky, because earlier we were just saying Tawa have come up into the premier competition in Wellington here again, and they're tough. Like they just come in, and when they get their full team out there, they've got some good hitters, they've got some good pitching, and they're tough. So you've just kind of got our back there.
Yeah, we've got Troy in our team from Tawa, so he was a pickup
Oh,
player.
yeah,
So
he
Troy's playing
catches
for
a
us.
bit.
Yeah, he catches,
Yeah.
awesome catcher.
Yeah, he
and
hits
and
well.
hits bombs too,
Yeah.
mate. So
Yep.
yeah, he's been an awesome pickup.
I saw one of the boys hit an awesome bomb against Hawke's Bay. Was that your North Harbour pickup?
Yes, no Harbour. That was Ryan.
Ryan, yeah.
The man can hit a bomb. He hits with a heavy bat too. So.
But you guys were almost down and out in that game, weren't you? And to come back and score 4 runs in that innings. Oh.
Yeah, there he is. There's Ryan there.
Oh, yeah, having a look at the game. Yeah. Another one with the dirty mustache. Look.
Is he wearing a Northcote jacket?
Yes, correct.
Hey, he's gone down in between games, sitting down on the
if
North
you guys
Harbour
have a
side.
fine session, he shouldn't be wearing that jacket.
I'm sure there'll be plenty of fines for me tonight. Too,
So, Ricky, when you see that picture come up of him, are you good with that, or are you a little bit butthurt around?
to be honest, I'm good with it, mate. Whatever makes him happy. Yeah. He's got a Southern Pride hat on, mate. So I'm happy with
and
that.
he's helping you out.
Yeah.
He's wearing the colours. No, we'll just take a quick break in between the innings here. We'll be back with more of Ricky Minchington in just a moment.
Your world, your colour, your choice with Racine.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've just taken a quick break while Wellington make a picture change in between innings out there. Ryan Banner, I don't know, Scotty, he was doing a fantastic job, but he's made way for Riley Mark here. We know what Riley brings. He's a class pitcher when he needs to be, and he's going to have to be with Wellington now 6 runs to 3 down against North Harbour. So things getting reasonably close.
I feel like Gino had a plan. You know, he's thinking, I'm going to use my pitching staff, almost all of them, and short leash all of them. Because you're right, he did a great job coming into that game, shut them down for as long as he could, gave up a 2-run shot. But as soon as that happened, it's like, right, we're going to Riley next. And I feel like maybe that was a plan they came in with. Happy to use all of them.
Playing to a plan.
Yep.
We still have Ricky in the booth with us from the Southern Pride team. It sounds like Southern Pride are enjoying a good tournament here. We haven't had the pleasure of calling a game for them. You guys had the 9 o'clock game against Hawke's Bay.
Yes, correct. It was our last game for the day.
Riley Markia finds the outside corner with that low lifter, Gary, that he possesses. If he can find that line and his change-up works off that, he can be tough.
He can come in and get straight into his work. It doesn't seem to matter to him. He's not phased by it.
There's this great picture of the hitter just, he's having a laugh on the way off. You got me. Oh, you got to love the pictures they can bring to you now, don't you?
Oh, yeah, well, our production value now compared to about 6 or 7 years ago, we talk about it a little bit, peeking around the door of a cold, dusty caravan with a couple of iPhones on the fence to where we are now. It's a long way from then.
Ricky, you would have loved it, mate. If it was cold, it was horrendous.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we've come a long way. Now we can offer you a seat in this place, Ricky.
In the air-conditioned booth?
Sure, we got to take.
How
it
you
from
feeling,
someone.
Ricky? Nice and comfortable?
Yeah, no, it's actually lovely. Beautiful spot to watch some ball, to be honest. So.
Ricky, did you travel up with anyone for the tournament?
We come up, my family actually come up. My oldest girl, Shakita, my youngest daughter, Vana, and Tiana, my partner, come up. So I'm pretty lucky for them to be up here watching me.
Awesome, as we see Riley strike out another hitter for the second out of the innings. So you're travelling with a bit of the family, mate. Are they having a good time?
Yeah, they're loving it. My oldest girl, Shakita, she's softball mad at the moment, so she's watching and cheering on every game. So
Now, you mentioned that she took part in the recent Under-19 Girls Tournament down in Invercargill. How did she enjoy that experience?
yeah, it was an awesome experience for her. She's only 16, so to play at that level was a phenomenal achievement for her. And the skills she learnt and took away from there is awesome. She actually coaches under-12 softball back home, so she took some great skills away to pass on to the kids she coaches.
Awesome. And we were talking between innings about how softball, that is softball, it's a very orientated sport, as Gary was just saying. You look around the diamonds on nice days at tournaments, and you see little pockets of families that you see regularly come into the ballpark, and they get raised around the diamond, as we say. And that's now your family coming up following you around.
Yep, 100%, bro. That's one thing about it, eh? And we're Southern Pride, we're one big family, to be honest. And I'm sort of second oldest in the team, so the boys have been making a laughing joke that a couple of boys are my sons. So,
every team needs a couple of koro in their team.
Well, based on that, every boy in this team is Wayne Laulu's son. As Riley helps himself to strike three, we'll just stay up if the boys don't mind. And we'll carry on with this conversation with Ricky. And we're just talking about the whānau aspect of the sport. Scotty, you got a bit of whānau scattered around the sport. I think your old man, the legend of Hutt Valley softball that he is, Robbie, is running the grounds crew here.
He's running the grounds crew. He's running this and that and everything. He's
just
everywhere.
not running.
Oh my gosh. He's driving that little golf cart. I mean, if we stay on any camera long enough, he'll drive past in that golf cart. It's like he's Ricky. I don't know if I describe him to you, you won't not see him now.
I think I've already seen him, bro.
He looks a little bit like this with no hair.
What are the home facilities like down in Timaru?
To be honest, they're pretty average. We share the grounds with a soccer company down there, soccer thing, and we just mark the fields out each day, each Friday. So we play on a Friday night.
You do that yourself?
Social, within the softball committee, we mark them out on a Friday night. So it'd be phenomenal to have some grounds like this down there one day, and we are working on it. We've got a committee together, and we're trying to slowly build. So,
well, you build a sport or you build a club, and eventually your council has no choice.
Yeah, you build a following.
Yeah.
And it's a numbers game, isn't it? If you start putting out too many numbers for them to ignore facilities, then they will come to the party. So, good on you. Just keep growing.
Softball is growing down there. It's just keeping those kids in the sport these days, It's a sort of area we're struggling with. So.
Yeah, maybe take an opportunity to try and get into the schools and that sort of thing. And
engage that local iwi down there.
Yeah, that's the
They're
one.
a post-settlement entity, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean...
Tahu?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
We actually have Greg Newton, ex-Black Sox, and he lives down South Canterbury region, so he's been phenomenal for the sport and that, sort of talking and helping with kids and getting them into the game. So.
Yeah. Spock, is that what they call him?
They used to call him Spock, yeah.
Man.
One of the top draw pitchers, not just out of Canterbury, but Southland, actually. Not just out of Southland, but in New Zealand. He's fantastic.
I got the pleasure at the end of his career of being struck out by Spock a few times at Club Nationals.
Yeah. Pleasure? Did you say pleasure?
Yeah, the pleasure, because I wanted to. I wanted to see before he retired. I'm like, I want to see
what I'm missing.
Got. And by then he was like, you know how you get pitchers at the end of their career, and some of them are just are a little bit different. They're tiring and all that jazz, and then others are still in amazing shape and throwing really, really well. He was one of those.
I get the job of keeping him warm every year for Evergreen, so he still plays Evergreen, so I go catch and train with him to keep him going, so he's still got it, mate.
Probably still throws bullets.
He does.
Well, I did some work at that under-19s with Rachel Newton, herself it's Spock's sister, a very experienced White Sox pitcher. We do know the family.
It's like Marty Grant. Went to a Masters tournament in Island Bay a couple of years back, and Marty's well retired by then, obviously. And we make the final, and we're the youngest team there, so we're taking the piss a little bit being at the Masters. But we make the final. Marty Grant comes out for the other team and just blows us away.
And he's lost.
And I'm thinking, man, this.
You held that one back, didn't you?
He's still throwing great. I thought we'd seen the end of being struck out by Marty, but a big shout out to you, So,
right.
Ricky, sorry, Gary.
Go for it.
Ricky, down there, how many teams you got operating?
In Timaru, we have 5 senior teams, so 6 senior teams, sorry. Like I said, it's mixed social, though. We have 2 females on at all times. So, yeah, real casual on a Friday night, but, yeah.
But a business house league almost kind of stuff.
Yeah, correct. It's fun, social. Everyone gets involved. We've started a slow pitch competition down there, just trying to get more people and companies sort of involved in the game. So
That's a great idea.
we've got a phenomenal committee down there, South Canterbury Softball, forever working on trying to grow the game in Timaru. So.
Oh, awesome, mate. Sounds like there's a bit going on down there, Gaz. You might have to get down there one day.
Oh, we'll just take Ballpark Broadcasting.
Yeah, bring him down. Our head coach,
Beyond the dugout.
Adrian Few, is actually the president of South Canterbury Softball, and he's been phenomenal for years, coaching the kids and working with them real well. So,
I'd love to see another major tournament hosted down there, you know, because that one that was in Vicago was such a good time.
Oh, you're going a long way back.
Yeah,
You talk
yeah.
about Johnson being down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and who won that tournament? You can say it.
Nah,
Wellington.
I'm actually not sure, mate.
Who'd we play in the final?
No, not sure.
All the way down to Vicago to play Hutt Valley in the final.
Anyway,
Versus Hutt Valley.
cracking game out here, Ricky.
We could have met at the bottom of Narrowing Gorge, had a fight and gone home, saved a lot of money.
As we see ball 4 to Jaden Stratford. We haven't seen many of them, Gary, from Fraser List.
No, absolutely not. He's pitched with great control. I've been impressed. I haven't seen a lot of Fraser as a pitcher, but he's definitely doing the job to keep the Wellington boys quiet.
Yes. And pitching to Logan Fraser List. Do you know the connection there?
Logan is a year younger as Dylan's brother.
Brothers. Because they definitely have a connection in terms of a battery as to
Yeah.
what, you know, they've got a good
They
understanding
must
of each
come
other.
through the grades, pitcher catcher.
Ricky, you got any like brothers in the group or cousins or any interesting dynamics in that Southern Pride group?
No, just that coach, Adrian Few, I suppose. Me and him real good mates. We actually went to Bali last year, and a few secrets over there we had together in that. So he's a phenomenal man from Timaru. Been good mates with him for years, and also Jason Hampton, my manager. So
Sweet.
This is the first time I've met a lot of the boys, to be honest, and played together. So
Yeah, and none of the rest of the boys are related in any way?
no, not.
That'd be one of the few teams, eh?
It sure would. It sure would.
Been
It's
a-
nice.
Splattering of them out there in the other groups.
A little bit, you look at the Auckland team, they can put 4 Evans out there and 3 Anokas.
Yeah. It's a great example.
There's definitely a couple of boys that look alike, sort of been hit with the ugly stick. So
Oh, well,
Well, you never wanted to play in teams with me and Scotty in it.
yeah. Yeah, we don't help on those fronts.
No, definitely not. Anyway, we'll probably just have to leave it for there now. Ricky, it's been absolutely fantastic to have you along and get your insights, not only on this tournament for Southern Pride, but also on softball down in Timaru. Well done for that, and keep up the hard work. Thank you very much, mate.
awesome. Thanks, gentlemen. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, big shout out to your family who travelled with you too, mate.
Yeah, cheers,
Well
bro.
done.
Appreciate it. Eh?
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Thanks,
All the
Reece.
best. Go the Canes.
Go the Canes. I like it. Good man.
Well, that was insightful.
Yeah, good way to leave it. Good way to leave it. Excellent. All righty then, Scotty. We're back into this ball game.
Yep.
And I've got Jaden Stratford out there on third base. And there is now 2 down. And Zach Boyd up to bat.
Wellington, ringing the pitching changes to stay close.
Yep.
6-3, 3-run deficit. This hitting lineup, if they chip away and they score that run at 6-4, they're a bloop and a blast away from tying this ball game, which, with that lineup...
Who would bet against it? I understand.
Oh, we saw Riley Markia, who's on deck here, in his last at-bat, just absolutely launch a tank.
He's just showing the way for the rest of the batting lineup, though. In the first at-bat, he showed the patience to pick a walk.
Yes.
In the second at-bat, it wasn't the first pitch that he launched over the fence. He waited for the right one. And really, it was a professional job.
Yeah.
As soon as he got one right through his hitting zone, and he absolutely nailed it.
Zach Boyd here is looking to go a little bit differently from his first at-bat as well. He's seen a couple of pitches early. He looks very patient. He looks quite locked in at the plate here. He knows he's got a job of trying to bring Riley to the plate here, and obviously if he can score that run, that'd be fantastic as well.
Yeah, Zachy's he's one of these guys who almost doesn't look like he's going to hit it until he does.
Yeah.
And I know it's a funny thing to say because no one looks like they're going to hit it until they do. But you don't think he's going to hit it, and then all of a sudden he does.
You see much of Caleb Taylor?
Yes.
Caleb Taylor can have some horrendous swings.
Yep.
And then once he puts his good swing on, he bashes it.
Yeah.
Just like in one at bat, he could lead off, have a horrible swing. You think, oh, he's nowhere near it here. And then, boof!
All of a sudden.
Just absolutely bashes one.
Dials it in one moment. We've
Yep.
always talked a lot about moments in the game.
Shout out Bungle. I watched you guys yesterday. He had a good shot off North Harbour, big home run.
This time, Zach has hit one up the middle. It's Caleb Rona who can't handle it. And that's going to earn Wellington a run in this ball game. And we just talked about their need. And, Scotty, you got the crystal ball out again to chip away at this North Harbour lead.
Yeah, interesting play there. I mean, we might get a replay up of the fielding there, but Caleb Rona coming across the diamond just checked the runner and saw that he was hustling down the line. And he just lifts his head a little bit.
Yeah, just guilty of having a look at the runner.
Yeah. And
Before
then
he secured the ball.
Yeah, and then the ball doesn't quite go into the glove as he'd like, I guess.
He did do the hard work to get across there.
In motion, oh my gosh, no throw, but he was absolutely away to the races there. Interesting. Was that a first pitch steal? Was it?
It was a first pitch steal, so they're getting aggressive, Wellington boys. They recognise the need to get themselves further back into this ball game. So we're back to that 2-run deficit. It's 6 runs to 4 to North Harbour, and things are getting very exciting here in the bottom of the 4th innings.
Yeah, I dare say with 2 outs, I mean, I knew they'd be aggressive there with A, some speed on first, but B, worst case scenario, he gets thrown out and Riley leads off the next innings.
Yeah.
No dramas, but it'd be interesting to see here if it's 0-2, so they're ahead, so they're going to have a crack at Riley, but if they were to get behind or even tie the count and he gets set, you know.
Yeah,
what they do here.
What do they do? Give him first base, basically, in that situation. At the moment, with a 2-1 pitch, they're still ahead of the count. You're right. They need to be looking for getting him, and I don't think that pitch on the outside, Scotty's going to do it. They need to come inside. Yeah,
interesting. It'll be interesting to see what they do.
You said do.
What they do. What they do there. Because, like, Riley is notorious. He can get round on that stuff on the inside.
Yeah.
But you're right. If he gets to extend the arms to the outside pitch, he hits a gap shot, that'll easily score.
But, I mean, if you're even on that outside pitch, if you're looking at the way Lance Brown is policing that zone, he's not really giving them much width on the outside. And there's Riley having a cut at one that was almost right over the middle of the plate. Just letting the pitcher know that my bat's going to be there if you put the ball in the middle.
I just read a message on my phone. Sorry, people. Checked out. I've got a message from Regan Manley.
Oh, nice.
He was watching. He is watching. He says, thanks for bringing it up. Yes, I am terrible at throwing to any base, let alone first. Well, it's lucky you're a good pitcher.
Ricky, yeah, that's right. Regan, you've more than made up for it over the years with the enjoyment I've got out of watching your pitching. It's been absolutely a privilege.
Hashtag cheese grater. He's a character. Back to the action here, Gaz. This is the battle.
And it is a real battle out here now. And Riley, once again, is just showing the way for the Wellington batters. He's taken Dylan Fraser list deep into this count now. At 2-2, we're almost getting into that zone that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Scotty.
Where he fights back and you think, oh, now he's getting comfy.
Oh, nice job by Fraser List. He just put that one right on the knees for the 3rd strike. And in this case, he wins the battle against Riley Marquia. 3 down now. It is 4 innings complete. It's a tight ball game. North Harbour 6-4 over Wellington. We'll find out what happens when we come back in just a minute. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lovely picture of the outfield here at Fraser Ballpark, where we have Diamond 1 action, Sorensen Field, between Wellington and North Harbour. And what a ding-dong battle it's starting to be. Wellington trailing North Harbour by 6 runs to 4. It is North Harbour who stole the early lead, and it is Wellington chipping away at it, Scotty. They're getting back there.
Yeah, you're right, mate. And between innings, as we see that pitch foul back from Seth Gibson, we had a chance to recheck the poll, Gaz.
We did.
You got an update for us?
We have. It's now, you guys out there are favouring North Harbour narrowly over Wellington, 52% to 48%. There we go. Come on, you Wellington supporters, you can do better than that.
Oh, where's that? Riley, very unhappy to see that not given. And to be fair, that's that one on the outside.
That was outside, yep.
That he hasn't
He has policed it very tightly. Has umpire Brown. There's obviously an area there they're looking to go at for Seth Gibson. Lefty in the box, obviously they're trying to keep him away from the right side of the field.
He's tucked in tight to the plate with that back foot.
Yep.
I mean, he's literally...
And he's hit one hard out of the screws. Centre field it is. It's gone over the centre field fence. And there's the danger of Seth Gibson, ladies and gentlemen, who just hits a solo shot for North Harbour. We'll have a replay there for you in just a sec. North Harbour now 7 runs to 4, courtesy of that solo home run by Seth Gibson.
Seth Gibson, hands back, set up inside, smash that left in a hurry.
It did, and there it goes there. It bounced a good 30 or 40 yards on the other side of the centre field fence.
Cooper Nicola, he centre field, he moves well.
Yeah.
He didn't get back to the fence in time before it had left.
No.
That was bashed.
Bashed.
Like, because Riley hit his own shot, that left in a hurry.
It did.
But
I think that one went a little bit far.
That was hit hard.
Yeah.
Oh. Some firm contact.
Well, we saw Riley, Jaden Stratford was definitely trying to work the outside of the plate to Seth Gibson. I think possibly Riley may be just guilty of straying back towards the middle of the plate on that pitch. Seth Gibson just took absolutely advantage of that moment given to him and launched it over the centre field fence.
That is a pitch and a half to come back with. I mean, I know
You've
we're
said
asking,
it a few times, but that was the change-up.
That was the change-up, and whenever they go through a little bit of a struggle out here, the men have been turning to the change-up, and that was just an absolute beautiful one. Froze the hitter solid. Lovely pitch, Riley Markia.
Number 5, Cohen Bailey, now up to bat. And every time Wellington get back within a sniff of North Harbour, they're just capable of pushing that lead back out again. And Wellington, here we are in the top of the 5th innings. There's only 2 innings to go after this. They will get to have a bat. However, in the 5th innings, we'll have to look to
Straight through the needle.
score some runs. Still got time to chip away at it.
Yeah, good little bit of audio coming through from the microphone on the umpire there as a snuck through Jaden and collected a little bit of the umpire's arm, and he just turned around and said, sorry about that, mate, because no catcher likes that. They don't like it when the umpire gets hit because they feel like, their job is to make sure
That's right.
all good. And you're building that relationship. Nothing can ruin a relationship quicker than letting the umpire get hit with a ball.
That's right. There we go. This time Wayne Laulu comes across to the foul territory to take that catch deep in right field for the second out. Cohen Bailey replaced by number 10, Nick Lanigan. And Wellington probably just need to find an innings like the 4th innings where they can stop North Harbour from scoring a run.
Yeah, especially with this offensive lineup that we keep referring to, and with Waney in right field, they're obviously going for that to keep the hitters out there. And like I say, with their defensive abilities in the outfield, they can afford to play Waney really close to the line down there, knowing that the other two's range is just phenomenal. And that actually led to him being closer to make that play. It's not a tough play for him. He can get over there. He can still move well, Waney. So he's over there and makes that play comfortably.
This one's hit hard. This time out to left field. Creasy runs it down. We just talked about that range. Turned a possible two-bagger into a single.
Yeah, Nick Lanigan was that at the plate there.
Yeah, it
Number
was.
10 for Harbour. Yep, I haven't seen him at the plate a lot. I know that they have either had him in left field and been hitting for him. But coming to the plate nicely there, gets a good swing off.
Yeah, he got that one right out of the screws. Hit it nice and hard. Damon Creasy jumped on it in an instant. Logan Fraser listed is up to bat now, number 11.
Beautiful frame by Jaden Stratford there. I feel like stole the pitch there on the outside corner that hasn't often been given.
Good catchers can do that if they're worth a few calls, just by the way they catch the ball.
Aaron Nemia, not obviously named in the Wellington team, but Porirua catcher, as you know well.
Yeah.
Gaz, the master of stealing strikes.
He is a great catcher, Aaron Nemia.
Stephen Ratu, master of stealing strikes. I used to watch these guys like intently, just especially Aaron Nemia, because he was always close. He was always playing around here.
Yeah.
And man, what a catcher!
Still playing as up, but a Porirua team that is blessed with 3 current or former Black Sox catchers, all of international quality, including Aaron Nemia, Tueta Bishop, of course, Corey Timu. All 3 of them out at Porirua.
You played them in the local tournament weekend,
Or 3-1.
where I got called out of retirement again. And Aaron Nemia was playing third base, and
That went away. So
did a couple of
that was
innings, and
four.
then just still all just right there.
Yeah.
Just watching him defensively, like
Yeah. An enormous amount of experience to call on in whichever position he's asked to play these days.
it must be nice for the likes of Tueta and Corey not to have to do it all as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, just be able to be in the hitting lineup and get off your feet a bit.
You look at the experience involved out there, and you had Wayne Laolu, who's been playing out at Porirua for a few years now as well. No wonder Porirua are always there or thereabouts in the Wellington competition.
Yeah,
Of course, this year's champions, Paniki Kilburnie.
they've been just borderline untouchable so far, PK.
Yeah.
I don't know what's gotten into them this year. I mean, they're good every year.
Yeah.
But they are really dominating the comp so far.
Well, I mean, once we're through this tournament, this is the premier tournament, but the one that everybody likes to go to is clubs. So people will start looking to clubs after this tournament.
Yeah, they're a real threat going into
I was going to say, where do you think Paniki Kilburnie will be going into that?
Thanks, Lee, we're good.
Well, actually, with the pull-out of Porirua, who didn't obtain any funding, it'll be interesting to see whether they pick any up on the back of that.
Yeah.
And if so, if that lineup gets any better, then their threat level will rise again.
Yep.
In terms of club nationals, but you'll see obviously the strength of Ramblers and Papanui and the lot from around the country and the good spread. As we see one get away from Zach Boyd on the back pick there. But yeah, you'll see the spread from around the country of the strength heading into that tournament.
Well, obviously, you don't have a tournament there without the usual suspects being talked about. I mean, Ramblers, obviously.
Yeah.
They've won the last however many in a row. Auckland United, obviously, Papanui, who have been finalists the last 2 or 3 years as well.
Northcote coming out of...
Northcote must be coming into being looked at after winning the Guth.
Yeah, and just the way that their players are travelling out. North Harbour is strong, and there's a high contingent of that, Northcote lot in there, but they are looming as a huge threat going into clubs.
Well, I mean, we've seen how good the Hutt Valley boys are at this tournament, and obviously there's a large contingent in that team from Hutt City United.
Yeah, Hutt City will always be strong.
Yeah.
They're a well-coached lineup with Craig, and they got that young talent that they're holding on to there that'll keep them right in the mix, no doubt, as well.
There we go. It's Wellington who get out of this innings now. That is the top of the 5th complete. Another run gets added to North Harbour, 7-4. They enjoy the lead over Wellington. We'll be back to find out what happens in just a minute. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are at Fraser Ballpark, Sorensen Field. Diamond 1 action between North Harbour and Wellington. 7 runs to 4. It's North Harbour who lead into the bottom of the 5th innings. There we go. Junior Men's Softball World Championship. Where'd that come from?
BA. Who is he? BA was the initials on the bag.
Oh, BA.
Who is it? Whose bag is it? Come on, let's play the game, Gaz. Let's do it. Let's throw out some options there. It must be a bag around here, so I'm guessing it's either a Wellington or a...
There's probably about 30 guys around here who have experienced Junior World Championships.
Which one was that one? It said on the bag.
But I can't read Greek letters.
Okay, so North Harbour.
12th.
BA. Brock.
Brock Attawell.
Oh, that's my guess. You owe me $10 if I'm right.
There he goes.
$10.
$10.
Or just a sausage and bread. I'm easily
My pleasure, mate. My pleasure.
You can put it on the Beyond the Dugout.
Oh, no, there's no Beyond the Dugout. We don't have those sorts of expenses.
Oh, of course not. Yeah. Well, I had a pretty good burger yesterday. Yes. Did you not buy that burger?
Oh, yeah. Well, no, of course I did. I shouted it. Absolutely.
That was lovely. The people who made that yesterday, well done.
They're doing an absolutely fantastic job of keeping the Pukus happy here in the Beyond the Dugout booth. There we go. It's Cooper Nicola, and the race is on. And he shows just how fast he is by beating that throw from second base, which wasn't bad. Scotty, that is burning 60 feet.
Yeah, you see the second baseman have to move laterally. And if you have to move laterally to a ball that TK's hit, you're probably not going to get him out.
Yeah, he's got you dead in the water.
He's just rapid down the line. It'd be one of the quickest down the line in the country. It reminds me of, that 2011 World Series team, Tyson Byrne.
Oh.
If he gets it onto the turf.
Save.
Just rapid down the line. And
here we go. The steal is on. The throw is out there.
Mate, gets a rise ball to throw off. First pitch, steal. And great throw over there. Great play. But he's there.
Great play. Wow, great tactics and aggressive tactics now being displayed by Coach Gene Lutton. He's helped out on first base there by Trevor Evans. The Wellington coaching duo. Jerome Ramaki up to bat with Cooper Nicola now at second base. And Romy will be focusing on this at-bat right here. An opportunity to close the gap. And there's a steal at third base. And I think that is extremely close right there. Great athletic play by Caleb Barona.
This is softball at its finest. Diving in head first, grabs the plate.
And it might have been just the twist of the body there that saved him. But the ball's actually come out of the glove.
Yeah.
Dave Fortin, look at he's indicating as well.
He's right over top.
That is softball out of the top drawer right there, ladies and gentlemen. This time the ball goes past.
I absolutely love the decision there to hold. Like, I know that people at home are like, that guy runs rapid, surely he's in there. But you've got
a 3-1 count on one of the top batters in world softball.
None out.
None out.
Romy at the plate, Wayne on deck.
Yeah.
You just hold there.
Yeah.
Like the ball would have to go.
You're wasting a lot of hard work if he's taken out at home plate in that situation.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You got to back your hitter, especially with none out. And I'd say I'm going to give it an 85% chance that he's crossing home plate at some stage.
Oh, I'm at least 87.5. So.
Okay, good. I'm glad we had this chat. Have I underdone it at 85?
I think a little bit, mate.
Maybe
a little bit.
I've got to leave something in there for the Harbour fans.
Nope. This time it's on deck from Romy, and nice decision by Seth Gibson to let that one go foul.
Yeah, and to be fair, like if he picks that ball up, he's giving up a run. So
absolutely.
I mean, at 7-4 against Wellington, are you trading it out for a run in the fifth? Maybe
Cooper
not.
Nicola was already picking that bat up before I finished that sentence.
Yeah. So
we talked about him being fast, but before I could say Seth Gibson made the good decision, Cooper Nicola was already picking Romy's bat up, getting ready to go back to third base. Oh, nice job by Dylan Fraser. What a pitch. Jerome Ramaki, you can't dispute that. That was just good pitching, I think.
He'd really set Romy up for these pitches that he's swinging over the top of the drop ball. And, and setting, barreling up the low lifter or the rise ball. And he went back to it right at the right time there.
Well, you look at it and you've got to admire the cooling that's going on and the management that's going on behind the dish. But also, obviously, the execution. A catcher can say, here's where I want it.
Yeah.
It's the pitcher that's got to execute it.
Yeah, 100%. And we talked about the connection that these two clearly have, obviously being brothers.
Yeah.
But knowing, if I go back to this now, he'll probably be able to execute this. That's valuable.
And he's in command of that drop ball, Scotty. He really is in command of that drop ball at the moment.
Yeah, and if he tunnels it off the low rise, then it's going to be tough because if you misread it, you'll leave a low rise for a strike.
Yep.
And if you read it as a rise, you're going to swing over top of the drop ball.
This time Wayne puts one out. It's gone through the 5-6 hole. Atiawa and Rona both looking at each other going, what happened there? Well, what happened was Wellington scored another run. Wayne Laulu safe at first base and one down in the innings.
7-5 now. We're back into the bloop and blast range.
Yep.
They've got a runner on. Tuweta Bishop to the plate.
That would normally be an equation for more runs, and Tuweta can do that, but by his own standards, he hasn't quite achieved what he would have liked in this tournament so far. So you might call him as a batter being overdue.
Oh, you can, Gary? Oh. Just to be clear for all the Tuweta Bishop whānau out there, that was Gary.
They know Gary.
Definitely wasn't Scott Eastoe who was suggesting that. Cause, look, to be honest, regardless of where he's at, what he's been doing coming into this is not a hitter you want to see at the plate right now.
Well, Big Bish, mate. You're your own family's harshest critic.
He's only just missed that. I dare say he'll be disappointed that he hasn't done more with that pitch.
Yeah.
That low rise on the inside, I tell you what, you get that wrong, that'll be the one that he...
That's a recipe for disaster against batters of this calibre.
Hey, Logan, just a heads up, bud.
Yeah.
You are playing with fire if you go to that pitch again. Hopefully he puts that away.
This time it's Wayne. He's going to help himself to second base on the pass ball. And just a sliver of the pressure getting to the pitcher-catcher combination out there that we haven't seen in 5 innings of work.
No, they've toiled really, really well.
Really
together. Well. And when they've encountered some adversity, they've bounced back really, really well. 5 runs against a Wellington lineup stacked like this, no dramas. That's for anyone else, you get up 5 as a pitcher, you're probably like, I haven't had the best day.
Yeah, that's right.
But, he hasn't made too many mistakes here. And
the thing is, like you say, with a lineup like this, if you do walk away with the W, it really won't matter how many runs you've given up.
Yeah, 100%. Your job's to keep your team in the game.
This time he's hit one out. It's Caleb Rona who eats it up this time. And it's Tuweta Bishop who becomes the second out in the innings. Wayne Laulu moved across to third base, however, with Damon Creasy up to bat. Damon, another one of the Wellington lineup, capable of launching one over the fence, but also he's got a very smart head on his shoulders and can be very patient. And
runs well. So, if you don't pick anything up properly, or if you've got to move laterally to it, and you don't make the play properly, he will beat it out as well.
Laulu has been replaced by the DR Ollie Smith out there at third base. So speed to burn coming up for Porirua should they manage to get the opportunity. North Harbour now with a bit of pressure on them. One swing of the bat now and this game's all tied up.
Replacing Waney on third base there with the DR, they're obviously placing an importance to get him in, but it suggests they're going to be more aggressive on a pass ball.
Yeah, absolutely.
Waney can run in if a ball gets through.
We know what Wayne Laulu can do to a catcher, but certainly Ollie Smith is going to get there a lot quicker.
That is a spot.
That is a spot that is probably about a third of a ball inside and just enough for Lance Brown to call that a strike, and that's a lovely pitch.
That's a
by Dylan
right-hander
Fraser.
coming across the dish as well. So, if that's a lefty and it's coming back to the plate, maybe it doesn't get given because...
Oh, this time we're going to see it. Ollie Smith coming in fast. And there's a nice play by the North Harbour battery right there. And well done to take the third out. Wellington scored 1 run in that innings, and we have seen some great plays to deny bases, but now to deny a run. And how close was that?
Wow,
how close was that?
That is a fantastic play by the brother combination to get to that ball quickly, flick it back. He's right there and denies the opportunity to grab that plate with that slide, and
Absolutely.
he done.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're enjoying these wonderful pictures we're getting, because that was as good as it got right there. We'll find out what happens in this exciting ball game when we come back in just a minute.
North Harbour substitution real quick.
Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and that play at home plate by the Fraser List brothers of that previous innings shows you the level that our sport can get to. Absolutely stunning play to deny Wellington another run in this one. It's North Harbour up to bat, however, and it is Caleb Rona, the lead-off hitter for North Harbour. Here in the 6th innings.
Isn't it nice to come back to that sort of quality pictures?
Oh, just beautiful.
Of quality softball, but quality picture,
softball, quality pitches.
Yeah, just awesome.
Yep.
This is a game too, Gary. 7-5, North Harbour, Wellington, top of the 6.
Yep.
We've spoken lots about that threat that Wellington's lineup holds, but Harbour are doing such a good job to obviously score 7, but keep, responding when required.
Well, they've got a quality batting line, and then it just underlines it right there as Caleb Rona drives one straight up the middle of the park to get his team going in this one. Nice job by Caleb Rona. He's going to be replaced by number 24, Levi Wilson, and this is exactly what we talked about that Wellington need to try and deny. They've got to stop, and I know you can't do anything about good batting, which that was. Yeah. But if they're going to... well, it's an already tight ball game. If they're going to get back on even terms, they need to blank North Harbour in one of these innings.
They do, and that's going to be tough with the lead-off on base now. But, Levi Wilson coming into the game, hitting from the left side, competent short gamer. So, they're going to have a play to make here.
You might see a more orthodox style of softball right now, I was going to say. With Wilson looking to put the ball down on the turf. Here to bunt Caleb Rona across the second base.
Yeah, I'd like to see now all that job being done and none out, and he's over. I'd like to see a bit more of maybe a sacrifice now. That there's a strike on him as well.
There's a couple of good-looking guys on the screen right there.
Oh, dear. Red Sox, baby.
Say hello to the inside of the booth and the working environment that we've got to work with. This time there's one laid out. Well done by Damon Creasy. It's coming back in at a great rate of knots. And it's Wellington this time that try to make the play. Great running by Caleb Rona. And that run scores. And this level of softball between these two teams out here has been worthy of this whole tournament so far.
Look at this, Gary. Comes steaming round third. Damon Creasy's up and firing. Stratford does not want to cut.
This is a relay throw.
And it becomes a relay throw, yep. And a close play at the plate. Ooh.
Oh.
Wow. We have
Wonderful.
seen some close plays at the plate.
Yeah, we sure have. We get a close-up look at it too, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's great softball. It's a great piece of hitting from a player coming into the game. Just control the bat that way and let the ball come off, finds the outfield. But the outfielding from Damon Creasy to get there quickly, get that ball heading towards home plate that fast was awesome to see.
And North Harbour continue to show why they are already guaranteed the playoff spot, Scotty, for the grand final.
Yeah, we haven't spoken much about the actual makeup of the tournament, Gary. But North Harbour, with that one loss against Hutt Valley coming into this, but getting a bonus point out of the game, being the only team now coming in, as you say, with a guaranteed spot in that 1v2 game.
Yep.
Hutt Valley with a 4-point gap, I think, on Auckland, but needing to secure their spot still with either a bonus point or it could go to runs for and against between them and Auckland. So North Harbour in a great spot.
What a game that would be if that was the 1v2 game in the context of this tournament. North Harbour and Hutt Valley. Hutt Valley, who have dominated most of the teams at the tournament, except for North Harbour.
No, except for Auckland.
Except for Auckland, my apologies.
Yeah, Auckland Sticks got hot late in that one and absolutely turned up a number, as we know that lineup can do as well. On Hutt Valley. But Hutt Valley came out ahead slightly against North Harbour, who made a very valiant effort late on in that game to come up short 4-3, but they had loaded bases in the last innings there, and young fella swung at the ball.
So we are waiting to see the result of other games to see who is going to, as we see an enormous shot, just goes foul out there. Oh my gosh, some of the batting in this game, whether it's been straight shots into the outfield or home runs.
When he puts this good swing on like this, look how controlled this is, Gary. Just poof, just flicks the barrel of the bat around on that. Just effortless.
It's surprising to see Hohepa Monk coming off the bench, but there's probably not too many better pinch hitters around.
Oh, it just goes to show though that North Harbour is
Auckland coming in, getting ready to go for the next game.
Yeah, we
just talked about them.
North Harbour just able to do what they like with the lineup in this game, aren't they?
Yeah,
Cause
absolutely.
They're through.
And they're through, and they've got depth. And I'm sure we will see more changes to come.
Yes.
As Hohepa Monk earns himself a base.
And I think that's probably the thing for me that confirms their. I think they're favourites personally in this tournament. North Harbour are slight favourites on the rest, but they've been able to get players into the game here and give them some exposure to make sure they're ready as well. Like we saw the Lanigan come into the game, who hasn't had many at bats so far.
Yep.
And take his opportunity and get one out the middle.
Well, they established their credentials right off the bat for me in the first day in that game against Canterbury, which was a ding-dong pitcher's duel.
Yeah.
Finally ended by North Harbour with Brock Attawell launching one out of the pound. But yeah, they are very much quality team. We've talked. You can't go anywhere in an NFC without talking about Auckland. Obviously, they have the batting lineup to match anyone in the tournament. Not quite the same on the hill as they've been in the last couple of years. Scotty, obviously, they've had the benefit of having Chapman and Nick Hayes, a couple of guys not available to them this year. So it very much brings the pack back, or them back to the pack.
Chapman's a guaranteed ace. Like, he's just an ace.
Yeah.
And without that, it does bring teams back into the fold, because it draws them back to the pack a little bit without that ace. And for me, I think you know, it does give those other pitchers a little bit of responsibility to step up. And,
Yeah.
And we'll see whether.
And there's nothing wrong with that either.
There's nothing wrong with that because that's how we produce our next crop, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, as we see at the plate now, the 21. If this gets any worse for Wellington, this might be a bit too far because this is Seth Gibson, eh?
Yep. There we go, 8-5, North Harbour, Wellington. Seth Gibson, of course, who launched that solo shot out of the yard in the previous innings. We do have another booth guest, though, however, Scotty, and we'll leave it to you to introduce this one.
Yes, joining us now in the booth is Dave Elder, Softball New Zealand Community Lead. Dave, welcome along. Thanks for joining us, mate.
Hey, how you going, Scotty? It's good to see you again.
Yeah,
G'day,
you
Dave.
too, mate.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Dave. Can you tell us a little bit about your role for Softball New Zealand?
Yeah, sure. We've got 26 associations around the country, and my job is to make sure that we're at least knowing what's going on within the softball whānau. Yeah.
I've bumped into you in the last month or so, Dave, at Invercargill, Palmerston North, and now Lower Hutt. So you're at all the tournaments?
Yeah, it's pretty easy to get the Ks up around the country, but the truth of the matter is, like any whānau, if you want to know what's going on, you've got to go and talk to people, right?
That's exactly right.
Yeah, it's awesome to see the Softball New Zealand staff on the ground, Dave, because you're right, that's actually how you get the best feel for what's going on. And so just on that, what have you found so far with what you've seen around the country?
Well, I've been in the game a long time, and I've got to say it's pretty heartening what I'm seeing around the country. You know, we tend to look at the game the way we did 20 years ago, and it'll be at the elite level, but around the country we've got places like Marlborough with 28 teams playing the game now at various levels, and up north with 40 teams. And I was down at Invercargill the other week, and
there's a fine double play by Jerome Ramaki, who's paid for it with the athleticism of that play, but that ends the innings for North Harbour. We'll stay on board if we could, please, guys, and have a chat to Dave Elder. We might not get too much of an opportunity after that with this ball game already in the sixth innings. But continue on with that, Dave. You were mentioning some of the other associations.
Yeah, so we've got plenty of good things happening around the country. We had our Heartland tournament last weekend for some of the smaller associations in New Zealand.
Dave, that concept, absolutely genius. I enjoyed it immensely. Something you guys would like to expand on?
Yeah, incredibly exciting for us, and we had 6 teams in the women and 6 teams in the men's competition. We already thinking we're going to get 9 teams in both of those competitions next year. One of the great things about it was there was a mix of players that have been around in the game for a while and youth within that, and you could just see the learnings that were happening. There was great battles on the diamond, but off the diamond there was great friendships. So, you know, to be honest with you, it's kind of the home place for our game.
Yeah, we haven't spoken to a single person, Gary, that hasn't been incredibly impressed with that Heartland edition, that concept. But interestingly, Dave, we had Ricky Minchington in
from Timaru.
From Timaru. And he was giving us a little insight into their little business house social league that they're playing down in Timaru. And we were so impressed with how they're trying to get something going down there. What can be done for those sorts of areas that are continuing to try?
Yeah, I think the key is to not overstretch ourselves and to make sure that, you know, use that Japanese word kaizen, that we just get continuous improvement, little steps, but to make sure that the steps are forward, and the little things like the dugout support that's available to communities around the country is really, really important, and they all help.
Yeah, good point, Dave. I mean, we took so much away from having him in the booth.
Yeah,
this Ricky.
Yeah, we did actually.
He was sent to the booth as a rookie from Southern Pride, but what we found diving into his story from Timaru was that real grassroots feel to softball, and he was saying how his family's come up to follow him up, and now his daughter's into playing, and she's doing a little bit of coaching. Around the country, is that a pretty common theme in our small areas?
Yeah, look, incredibly so. And I've built a theory around this that I didn't have 12 months ago, and that is for every great name we have in the game, we've got 99 people that have helped them get there.
Yeah.
And we probably haven't been looking at the 99 people enough. Sure. And those people are still there in our game, just not doing the things that we think are the normal things to be doing in the game.
Yeah. And as you know, from a local association perspective, it's just redrawing on some of those people that have been involved in the game, are still around the game in some capacity, and how we can draw on their experiences, their abilities, their bits of that they can still help with in the game. And I think closer to the game here in the Hutt, Bob Barchak is back in with the umpires around here, just trying to give a little bit of back. And it's sort of examples like that where there's probably more we can do, I guess.
Yeah, and softball's a whānau sport, and that just doesn't mean that it's just family members, but it means that we actually act like whānau. And so part of that is we don't always ask, and people are just doing it anyway. But if you do ask, more people appreciate the fact that you've asked, and they'll actually step up and do it. We've never been short of asking for help and getting it. It's just a matter of letting people know that we want it, and secondly, appreciating the fact that people do help our game.
Yeah, it's something that we've said a lot, even here on the broadcast. We live and die by our volunteers. You talk about a whānau sport. We're the ultimate grassroots sport. We're the ultimate amateur sport. So, yeah, we do. We very much live and die by our volunteers. And speaking of that, and helping oneself, Damon Creasy has just launched one over the fence for yet another solo shot in this ball game. Another home run for Damon Creasy. And Wellington keep getting that gap to 2, Scotty, but they just can't quite close it.
This game, Gary. Wellington fight back, close the gap.
Yeah.
North Harbour come back up, extend the gap. Wellington fights
close
back,
it.
Closes it down, and as you say, any game that Wellington's in, that's at 2 runs.
It's like the turtle chasing the hare, isn't it?
Yeah, they're just in that awkward range, the bloop and the blast range.
Yep.
You know if they stay in that range,
anything could happen.
Anything could
happen.
Exactly. But back to you, Dave. So obviously you had a bit of a story, a bit of a good history of volunteering before taking up an official role, I guess, with Softball New Zealand. Is that sort of what led you to the role? Was getting back involved and being involved and seeing where you wanted to take it, or?
Well, to be honest with you, the role's been heartening for me. I actually thought I was coming into a sport that wasn't being successful, but when I went out and had a look at it, I found it was being very successful, and I initially thought that there was more for me to do, but in actual fact there was just more to find out about our sport and what we actually needed. So in answer to your question, yes, in the first stage I thought I was coming in to really have to help, but now I'm coming in to find out what to help with, because we're in pretty good spirits. And if people don't have enough excitement in your life, just come and watch this game, seriously.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Dave. Yeah. This game just is providing a lot. It's providing a lot in that North Harbour just continue to stay ahead of Wellington in this race to the 7th innings by the 2 runs. One of the impressive things for me out of this North Harbour performance is the performance of Dylan and Logan List. The battery that they've got has just done an absolutely wonderful job for them and continues to do so.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about their bounce back on the back of adversity. And Dave, just to come back to you again while you are with us, obviously you've got a bit of experience in that battery department as well. What are you seeing from these two out here that you like?
You know what, I keep hearing that it's not like the old days, but I tell you what, looking at the new days, they actually look pretty good, and people are hitting good spots. And Chubb Tangaroa is sitting out there and he's nodding his head with that looks pretty good to me. So if Chubb's happy, I think we're all happy.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we're definitely in good spirits if the lights of Chubb are out there and agreeing with what's happening on the diamond. And like you say, this spectacle, this game is a great example of where we're at. The use of the change-up, Dave, is we just see one dropped in there. We've seen a bit from the females as well. We've seen a lot from the male side. Is that something, drawing on that battery sort of side of you, is that something you would encourage, you're happy to see, or?
Yeah, look, there isn't any doubt, particularly, and I talk about the women's college game in the US, which is kind of the pinnacle of the women's game.
Yes.
The pitches are getting faster and faster, but it's kind of the norm now. So that variation of throwing change-ups in actually puts some doubt in the hitter's mind. And I always think that the job of a battery is not to strike people out. It's actually to put doubt in a great hitter's mind.
Yeah.
And so that change-up is a massive weapon in that.
Yeah, your 118 clicks on the ball plays a lot firmer if you can spot the change-up in there with it. Awesome.
And this one's hit straight up the middle. Karan Bolger it is, who gets Wellington going again.
Now, I'm not going to say that's the bloop.
That's the bloop and that's what you're talking about.
In the context of things, he's hit that nicely up the middle, but that's the base runner they need to be in the blast range to tie this ball game.
Yeah. Well, Zach Boyd, again, I said the same thing about Tueta Bishop. He's probably not 100% happy with by his own high standards with his batting. So he's probably maybe goes into that overdue category as well.
And it's only one out, Gary. If you look into that on-deck circle that you can see nicely from your seat.
Well, probably the guy that's been the pick of the batting lineup from Wellington so far in this ball game has been Riley Markier, and he's going to get a shot.
That'll be one they do not want to see. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they try and play for the double play, even though Zach Boyd runs well, and so does Kieran Bolger, so it's probably a little unlikely. But you know, if you could at all avoid bringing Riley Markier to the plate in a tight one, you will, won't you?
Yeah. Yep. You'd agree with that, Dave?
Yeah, I'd be thinking about putting them on anyway, no matter what the situation.
Absolutely, mate.
Yeah, and you know, Riley Markier, obviously, you know, very closely, you know, the child of Sir Thomas, as we call him out these ways. But isn't it? He was just like that. Like when Thomas was on deck, they would have been thinking very similar things.
Foul ball. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Lance Brown leaped out of the box there to call that one a foul.
You have to love the early, confident, loud call from the umpire, because for me, it helps diffuse that situation of an awkward call. You know, because he's so confident, he's so clear very early that was left side of the base. And
over there in your box, Trev.
And it diffuses that, because you know you're going to get it from Trev.
Over there in your box, Trev.
Yeah. Isn't it lovely?
He knew he was on the way.
Yeah,
he knew he was on the way.
You know, with the coverage now of Lance being mic'd up, we get an insight into that side of of
one
the
ball,
umpiring.
2 strikes on a very dramatic moment in this ball game, and probably here in the 6th innings, the most dangerous moment that North Harbour have experienced in this ball game so far.
Yeah, and if they go on to get an out here of Zach Boyd, and I dare say that'll be the last time we see that pitch, I would hope, because he was just off launching
Similar
that
pitch
ball.
to the home run we saw Zach launch earlier in the tournament against Auckland. It was right up there on the hands, and he managed to turn on it and launch it over the left field fence. Dave, where to next in the calendar for you after this tournament?
Yeah, so we've got clubs in a couple of weeks' time, and then New Zealand secondary schools after that. And in between that, and I won't be at this one, but Evergreens have got 20 teams at the men's and 14 at the women's. So
what a packed calendar we enjoy these days.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Somebody told me there wasn't anybody playing in our sport. That's somebody that doesn't get around the country, I can tell you.
Yeah. We look down at that dugout now. There's a lot of excitement coming out of that Wellington dugout. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Zach Boyd. Gary, you got that feeling?
Getting the feeling now. It's got to be there. Nice job by Zach Boyd to earn the walk. Probably the minimum outcome he needed. They don't want to be giving away any cheap outs.
Yeah, I mean, the thing for North Harbour is it keeps the double play ball involved, but unfortunately for them, it adds the possibility of a dangerous hitter coming to the plate with 2 runners on.
Riley, who is not an easy out, obviously one of the hardest to get out, and has enjoyed a good game so far on attack. Turns hard on the first pitch, which, to be fair, was right in the middle of the zone.
Yes, that hard dipper, though, for Fraser List that he's been successful with. Man, I don't want to harp on about it, but the difference between his low rise and that drop ball in terms of the danger, you know.
Dave, you'd be happy the quality we're seeing out of this ball game from 2 teams, to be fair, where against each other in the context of the tournament, there's not too much on the line.
Oh, look, the entire tournament, both the men's and women's, is so competitive that if you had to pick a winner today, at the end of the day, you couldn't, because any team at any moment, just like we're seeing right now, the whole game can change on the swing of a bat.
Yeah, and North Harbour are the ones who are actually, kind of in the lead from the men's side of the draw slightly.
Yep.
They're through to the 1v2 game, but, Auckland being 4 points behind Hutt Valley and it all to play for in both their last 2 games, it just goes to show what you're saying there, Dave, that it's just so tight.
Man, if we had live betting at the TAB, it would go crazy. It would go nuts on this game.
Come on, TAB,
Speaking
come
of going
to the party.
crazy, we might try and find an update on the little poll we've got going, Dave, because it's coming to a conclusion rapidly, and it has extended a little bit. North Harbour's 55% in the voting over Wellington's 45%. Still close.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, yeah, that is close. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 runners on for Wellington in the 6th, though. I'm challenging
One swing of the bat for the goer. One swing of the bat for the go-ahead run at 2-2.
Yep.
What a pitch. He just keeps coming up clutch off the mound.
Well, I mean,
producing the pitch.
The swing that Riley just put on that, he definitely wasn't looking for a drop ball inside there. And what a spot to come up with it at the right time. 2 outs now, and him dealt with. Tikarika, Cooper, Nicola to the plate. Dave, with the pitching, we were talking about pitchers who can't throw to first base. In your day.
Here we go. There's a pass ball's going to move the runners, and that just adds to the pressure back on North Harbour.
You got any examples of those, Dave?
Oh, plenty, and you're talking to one of them. So, I mean, the reality is that's why scorers don't ever pitches, because there's no expectation they can actually field and throw. So.
That's right. No
field,
expectation.
there should be an expectation to field. But they throw, the complete other direction so many times. The fact that they can't throw overarm is probably not actually that strange, really, is it?
Yeah, I was one of those guys that...
This one's hit hard. It's made second base go in the other direction, and he had to be extremely accurate there to beat out the run of Tekarika Cooper Nicola. 3 down. It is now 6 innings complete, and it is North Harbour who still cling to a 2-run lead over Wellington. We'll find out what happens when we come back in just a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, to this ball game between North Harbour and Wellington. We are now in the 7th innings. North Harbour up to bat. Wellington just keep closing that gap, but North Harbour are doing enough to stay ahead of Wellington in this one by 8-6. So we've seen a fine ball game so far. We're in the closing stages of it. We do have a booth guest here. It's Dave Elder. So I take from our conversation, Dave, that you were a pitcher back in the day?
Yeah, well, I was able to hit the bat with most times I wear my arm over, so I guess you can call that pitching. Yep.
That makes 2 of us, Dave Elder. And who did you do your pitching for?
I pitched for Auckland when I was younger, and then was, thanks to the Martin family, to Murray, so Jared's dad, I got invited down to pitch in Taranaki, and ended up moving down there and married my lovely wife 45 years ago, and
excellent,
and stayed on down. To be honest with you, Murray thought I'd come down for the pitching, but I come down to marry my wife. Really,
that happens with a lot of our foreign boys who come over. Some of them don't leave.
Yeah, that's right. You forget to go home.
Yeah, short-term basis, as we saw Riley Markia strike out the lead-off hitter for North Harbour. 1 out.
Cohen Bailey.
Cohen Bailey.
He gets replaced by Nick Lanigan.
ringing the changes again on the on-deck circle there is now, who is that? That will be...
18, Hugh Davies?
Nope.
No.
That looks a lot like
Curtis Tompkins.
Yeah.
Curtis Tompkins in the on-deck circle.
I'll just give you a quick update here, Gary, on the women's side of the draw. Although, on the women's side of the draw, Hutt Valley 9, Wellington 2. Geez, that's a big win for them.
It's a big win. That confirms them.
That gets them through to that 1v2 semi. And Auckland have beaten Hawke's Bay in tiebreaker to confirm their spot. They were already through Auckland unbeaten, but Hawke's Bay and Hutt Valley were close. So
Hutt Valley and Auckland, the 1v2 on the women's side of the competition, ladies and gentlemen. That game will be live here on Diamond 1 at 3 o'clock. Me, myself, and Joe Fariso will have the call on that one. I'm looking forward to that one enormously.
Riley Markia strikes out the second hitter, and Nick Lanigan to the plate for this innings.
Hawke's Bay managed to put together a team, Dave, from around the circumference of the country by the look of it, but what a great addition they've been to the competition this week.
You know, the NFC is supposed to be the celebration of our top-level sports people in softball, and to be honest with you, the impact of those players being here guarantees that. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've had some really good feedback. You'll get mixed feedback on any subject, I guess, but we've had some really good feedback on our New Zealand hitters and our Aotearoa hitters coming up against, some real tough pitching, whether it's from here, whether it's from overseas, from a hitting perspective.
We've had the Australian girl, Parnaby.
Who
is basically their number one in Australia.
Yeah, and is one of the best pitchers in the world. So it's not just Australia. Like she's been heavily ranked ever since she was at the University of Hawaii, which is probably 10 or 15 years ago now, and has always been one of the best hitters in the world. And it was interesting talking to some of the players that would have been facing her here, and they went, you know what? That's not quite as good as I thought it was going to be.
That speaks a bit about our own players' confidence, doesn't it? Really,
it really does, and it was great to hear and great to see, and and our girls are up for the challenge, so bring it on.
Yeah, no, you did right, David. On the men's side of the draw, Villavazo.
Of course, the Mexican flamethrower that we've got here at the tournament.
Yeah, we've got another Mexican in the Hutt Valley lineup with Humberto Valdez. Pitching out for Hutt Valley, who's out from Mexico as well. So there's a little bit of flavour from around the world joining us at the NFC, and it's just bringing some special battery, I guess, to it, or adding to it, because we've got some good battery anyway, but adding to it. What's your sort of perspective from that, Dave? Are you happy to see it, the international flair, just bring the level up?
So there's a couple of things, and I'll talk about the women's game because I know that best, I guess. We've got some great young pitchers that are currently pitching at JUCOs in the US at junior colleges and bits and pieces. Mackenzie Bailey McDowell's over there, Charlotte Graham's about to go over there, and all the rest of it. To have them replaced by great overseas players coming in makes an advantage to our hitters who are still seeing great players while we actually develop our own pitching. And as long as that cycle comes with the players coming back to play for our country and in our country, I actually think it's a great revolving door.
I think, it's something we've missed for a few years, but the quality of the pitching determines the quality of our batting.
Yep.
And if they're facing week after week subpar pitching, then the batting will suffer. But what we're seeing is quality pitching, and that can only help bring the level of our batting up.
Yeah, sure.
I was talking to a couple of catchers the other day, which will remain nameless for now, but they were talking about how they can struggle if they haven't caught firm for a while. And conceptually for the hitters, it's the same. If you haven't seen firm pitching or top-level pitching for a while, you go to an international tournament and you're just not as prepared.
I mean, I've always been of the thought that if you're scared of pace, then you end up just turning up the dial on a pitching machine. And once that pace becomes a normality, the fear goes away and it just becomes normal. But we don't see enough of it. And so when we do see more of it, it becomes normal. And then you get the comments like I've been hearing this week, like, yeah, she's pretty good, but You know, I'm there with her.
I think I'm close. Yeah, that's awesome.
Anyway, we do see the third out. It's a strikeout, and it is Wellington will come to bat in the bottom of the 7th innings. Dave, it's been a pleasure to have you along. Lovely to hear your insights from the administrative side of Softball New Zealand and what you've been doing around the traps. So thank you very much for coming along. Appreciate it very much.
Thank you. Appreciate the
Cheers.
opportunity, and thanks to everybody in our game who's doing all the good mahi.
Thank you, Dave.
Good to
Appreciate
hear.
it.
Well, Scotty, we've got
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate that, mate.
one more opportunity for Wellington to impact the scoreboard. They're still only 2 runs behind.
We will be right back to see what they can do.
Absolutely, in just a minute.
Jack Links presents Messin' with Sasquatch.
Watch this.
Don't mess with other snacks. Choose Jack Links jerky made with 100% beef.
Into some lovely pictures here at Fraser Park, and behind us we've got the young Phoenix Soccer Academy going to work out there, but in front of us on Diamond 1 we've got world-class action with Jerome Ramaki out there to face the pitching of Dylan Fraser List from North Harbour, who's done a fantastic job for his team. Jerome Ramaki has really put his body on the line in this one. I felt for sure he wouldn't be coming up for a bat after being left prone at third base after firing that one out in the previous innings. But here he is, 3 balls and no strikes.
Romy putting it in for the black and yellow of Wellington here. He would love to be a part of a comeback as he hobbles down to first base on the back of ball 4. We can see there the number 1-6 is in the physical struggle.
He is. Sometimes Romy has to coddle things together as far as his ailing body goes. Very much a veteran of the sport these days. But boy, gee, look out when he gets together in whatever shape his body is. The power of that hitting remains.
Yeah, and he plays a lot of softball.
Yeah, absolutely.
He plays a lot of softball. It can be hard to keep it all together when you're putting the body under immense stress.
Week in and week out, year in and year out for guys like him who chase the summers around the world.
Bottom of the 7th, Gary.
Wayne Laulu, bottom 7. We're not going to make any predictions.
World-class hitter at the plate. Runner on 1, lead-off's on, none out. Bottom of the 7th. The big man, Wayne La.
And it looks like our runner in this instance is Aaron Gollan. Another one who can scamper around the bases extremely quickly. Wayne Laulu up to bat. He's helped himself to a few RBIs in this tournament so far. And has a go at another one.
That was aggressive.
It was.
I could hear.
You heard that on the ambient mic.
I felt the breeze on the back of the swing through to the.
He managed to calm the nor'wester coming in with the swing of the bat.
For those at home, that's me waving. You can see me back there.
Yep.
I felt the breeze from the swing.
This time he's launched one into the back net. And, you know, Wayne Laolu, very much an elder statesman in our game now, but he's still good enough.
Oh, yeah.
You talk about old enough, you're good enough. Well, he's still good enough.
Yeah, he's still good enough. He'll determine when he's not good enough, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, he's another man who's travelled around, played regular seasons in the States to the highest level, seen the highest level of pitching more regularly than maybe anyone.
Right up there, you know. He's got championship rings. He's been all world. He's been, you name it, world champion. He's done it. You know, when you look back at that's a career that is storybook right from the word go.
Yep, and there'll be no situation.
And again, there's that inside pitch that has just done such damage on the Wellington team from Dylan Fraser List. And he'll be able to put his feet up after this game, and he might even be able to enjoy a beer or two, because as good as he's been today, he may not be needed for the rest of the today.
Well, I'm sure he could. I bet you they won't let him.
No, absolutely.
Curtis Tompkins and his team, and you know, he strikes me as the type of guy, Curtis, who keeps the standards for the group. You know, it's like he's like a quality control officer. You know.
Let's not forget they haven't had to use Pita Rona. They haven't had to use Kanto Aso. You know, what a luxury for them. And that's been provided at this game by having Dylan and Logan Fraser List go so well.
Yeah, you got to love the faith they've played in him, because, and to be fair, they've earned that, haven't they? They've earned that. They've bounced back every single time there's been adversity. The battery has bounced back for North Harbour.
Absolutely. Every time Wellington's threatened to come back, and he's done it again. He's struck out to Etta Bishop this time.
And it's that drop ball that's getting underneath the bat, the hunting, the low rise that he does use a lot. But when it's drop ball, it's tough.
It is tough. So Tueta Bishop becomes the second out to bring to bat Damon Creasy, who, of course, in the sixth innings launched one over the fence for a solo home run. Well, if he launches one over the fence in this at-bat, that'll tie the ball game up.
Yep, it certainly will.
On the other hand, if North Harbour can get him heading back to the dugout, that'll be ball game for them.
Yeah, it's still that two-run gap that's been ever present throughout the game. There's been some extensions and then some reductions, but really it's been a two-run ball game backwards and forwards since the first, really.
Yep.
Did he hit by pitch there? No. Okay.
He'd probably rather not in the context of this game.
Yeah.
There's no point in hobbling down to first base in the context of this game. He wants bat on ball.
I like the fact that I'm not interested in that.
Yeah, not interested in it.
I want to change the game with my bat.
He hung off that one. He was relying on Lance Brown to call that one a ball, but it didn't happen.
That was a good line. I mean, it come in probably higher than he'd want for a dipper, but
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Is this the pitch that does it? Down into the dirt this time. And how apt for these two teams.
And what do you know?
A full count.
Why not, eh?
It comes down to one pitch.
It's been a close game, backwards and forwards. Why not go to 3 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs and a runner on?
And a runner on. And the tying run at the plate. Who knows where this one's got to be? This one gets launched. It has gone deep. It has gone deep. He's done it.
And the centre fielder's looking up and it's gone.
Where did that go? And there you go. Damon Creasy has got Wellington a life by launching that one over the fence. And that'll even up the ball game. 8 runs apiece.
Gary, this commentator you've been paired with today.
Who is he?
I don't know. That Damo, that's an Oppo Taco.
Oh,
the swing that he's absolutely put on is very similar to the first home run. Like, I dare say the line that left on was very similar to his first home run, but that went an absolute mile. That was a no-doubt home run off the bat.
That was absolutely gone. You could see it right off the barrel. and it is North Harbour. And especially, I do actually feel for Dylan and Logan, who have battled so hard to keep Wellington away from that North Harbour lead. They have battled very hard to keep Wellington away.
I love this game, Gary. I love this game.
It's everything you love about this ball game. Is
so
situation.
good.
The 7th innings, there's 2 down, loaded count, and it's a home run that evens things up.
And it's not just a home run, it's a tank. It's a no-doubter off the back. It's just so dramatic, you know. Like
it is, absolutely.
He gets the pitch in the 3-2 count that he's looking for. He doesn't miss, and he just holds the pose.
What's Jaden Stratford trying to do here? What do you think Jaden Stratford will try and do here?
Jaden Stratford won't have walk-off home run thinking right now. Jaden Stratford will try and take this count deep as well.
Yeah.
And he will be thinking about being on base and backing his hitters. Don't get me wrong, if he gets a mistake, he will put a charge in it, and he'll try and put a charge in it.
Yeah.
But he won't be thinking that. He'll be thinking on base.
Tremendous comeback so far from Dylan Fraser List, pitcher who for this ball game has largely kept the Wellington batting at bay, possibly with the exception of Riley Marquia and definitely with the exception of Damon Creasy now, who has had back-to-back home runs.
That's actually a really good piece of hitting right there from Stratty. He got a really good low lifter on the edge there and fights that off to see another one. If he gets a hit in this at-bat or gets to base, it would be because he fought that one off.
Yeah. There's that pitch that he's had such good success with. Just a little bit too far inside this time.
Yeah, it's been nasty. That drop ball inside, that dipper in, that's been tough for the Wellington hitters. Have swung all over top of that a lot today.
Well, this is a situation we've seen a little bit more regularly at this end of the ball game. And there it is there. And exactly as you called it, Scotty, Stratty just gets himself to first base nice and safely.
Well, that swing that he just put on, that's exactly what Stratty would have been trying to do.
Yeah.
Just take him deep in the count and put that swing on to make sure he's on base.
So he gets that done and he goes back to the dugout on the 2-down catcher rule to be replaced by home run hitter Damon Creasy.
And have we seen Joel Harris in the game yet?
No, we haven't seen Joel.
Man, they've got a huge stick on the bench too.
Yeah, well, these sorts of situations are tailor-made for Joel Harris.
No, I love the faith in Kieran Bolger, and to be honest, I love that he's coming to the plate right now. He's been awesome. But so cool.
There we go, and it's Creasy who steals.
And
the
now
throw's not quite up to it.
And now the situation is actually tailor-made for Kieran Bolger because runner in scoring position, he's got a nice consistent bat. He can find some green here to score that runner.
Really, it's all he's going to need. If he can punch one through the infield, it will be game over.
I mean, if he had no runners on, I wouldn't mind seeing Joel Harris come to the plate trying to hit a tank to finish it, you know?
Launch a walk-off.
Yeah. But Kieran's the right guy for this.
Just something that Joel Harris, of course, who must be getting close to having his number retired at Paniki Kilburney, has been a stalwart there for many, many years now, sitting on the bench for Wellington.
Yeah, ever present for PK and one of the hitters that when they're in the lineup, you just, you look to and you think, oh dear. Hope he don't come up in the wrong situation.
Yeah, it's the wrong situation.
He's an imposing figure. I mean, I obviously sit behind the plate a lot.
Yeah.
And when people come in, there's a presence.
Yeah, there is.
Joel Harris has that presence.
Joel Harris does. It's one of those guys that's, oh, look, it's Joel. What's going to happen here?
Yeah. You get this wrong. Could be goodbye, baby.
This one on the inside. And Dylan Fraser List was heading back towards the dugout. He thought he had ended the inning right there with that pitch. But here we go.
Was a lie.
Damon Creasy standing out there at second.
Got a good view of it, didn't he?
Is Kieran Bolger doing the batting. We've got a 2-2 count with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th innings. Does this do it? No, it doesn't. He gets the job done. Strikes out Bolger to add another dimension to this ball game. And we are going to go to a tiebreaker. ladies and gentlemen, a tiebreaker. My first one of the tournament here in the booth. We're loving it, every moment of it. We'll find out what happens when we come back in just a minute. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And can you say tiebreaker? That's right, we're in the 8th innings now, and it is a tiebreaker here between North Harbour and Wellington. What a ball game we've been treated to here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a ball game that for both of these teams is not a lot on, but you wouldn't know it from the way these two teams have played. And it is top of the shop for North Harbour, Caleb Rona up to bat. They got the runner out there on 2 for the tiebreaker. Scotty, can you say tiebreaker?
I can. Tiebreaker.
There you go. I knew you could. Just had to try.
Yeah, I absolutely am so stoked to see a tiebreaker right now because this has been a game where it kind of deserves tiebreaker, really.
At the end, I mean, you know, you just recap a little bit, and you don't have to go far because North Harbour have led this ball game right from the word go. Yeah. And Wellington have fought back to close the gap. North Harbour have edged ahead. Wellington have fought back. So really, it's been the story of Wellington's fight back.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously they gave up 4 in the first as well. So
yeah,
you know, without that, it wouldn't be a fight back.
It's Jerome Romaki who gathers that one up at third base and fires it across the diamond for 1 out here in the top of the 8th innings.
But yeah, you're right, Gary. It has been the story of a fight back, and you could feel Wellington fighting with their pitching changes, you know, that they've done, everything that they've done to stay close, then just to get that chance late on.
Yeah.
And knowing that their lineup, there's so many of them in that lineup that are capable of that moment.
That's right, absolutely right.
So you got to give it to Gino and the coaching staff. They did everything they could to make sure they were close to get that opportunity, and then when it came, whoo-hoo, Dabo.
There we go. We got the short game in effect. And Harbour still with 1 out have moved that runner across the 3. That's the one that really matters. And it is Levi Wilson who drops a superb bunt. Scampers down to first base. Nothing Wellington could do about it. It was that good. That's going to bring to bat number 9, Hohepa Monk.
We're at none out, though, aren't we? Yeah.
No. There was the throw from 3 to 1 to take out Caleb Rona.
Yes. Great.
I thought my memory would be slightly worse than yours, Scott.
Oh, mate, there's a burger sitting in front of me. I've forgotten everything else.
I reached for my pen. I thought I was going to lose my hand.
I don't have breakfast. This burger's staring at me.
Same. Right, there we go. Oh, that's a heck of a pitch from Riley Marquez. He pulled the strings on that one. That one turned Hohepa Monk to stone.
The steer from Hohepa Monk on the back of that. You're joking me.
You're joking.
Yeah. Could be coming again. Oh! Great spot. good take. Lovely peepers from Jorge Monk.
Yeah, he managed to stay off that one this time.
Yeah, the most valuable thing about that play there, as we see him beat it out to first base, is that it was still only one out, which gave Jorge Monk opportunity just to find the outfield or a ground ball that scores a run.
Yep.
Riley Markia clearly wasn't a part of that plan.
No.
Strikes out.
Jorge Monk. He says, I've got something to say about that. But that brings to the base Seth Gibson, of course, who launched a solo home run of his own, and he's going to score the run right off the first pitch. He's come off the fence, and that's going to score 2. Seth Gibson heads to 3. And there's a fine piece of batting by Seth Gibson to score 2 runs.
Another beautiful piece of bat control. Man, I love the energy that Seth Gibson has for the game.
Oh.
You know, like, would you know, if you were just watching, if we only had the cameras on Seth Gibson, would you know that they were through to the 1v2 already?
No, he's a competitor.
He just...
Absolute competitor.
He wants to win that battle at the plate. He wants to win that moment. He wants to win that moment. When he does, he's geeing up the teammates.
That's right.
You know.
Oh, here we go, North Harbour.
My Lord.
Brock Attewell has just launched an enormous moonshot out of the yard. And North Harbour scored 2 more runs.
Gaz, that's
unbelievable.
Huge.
That is enormous.
He clearly came in sitting on something, got it,
Yep.
and did not miss. My gosh, that's gone way back.
Got to give the coaching staff at North Harbour, because the sentences would have been short. Let's stop mucking around, boys. Let's stop mucking around. Get the bats off the shoulders.
Yeah, Brock Attewell got the message.
Yeah.
And the only thing stopping that leaving the entire ground was those trees. If those trees went there...
Oh, it would have gone over the tin fence.
That's
No
leaving
doubt.
the entire ground.
100% that would have gone over the tin fence.
Look at the little stature of that man who just hit that tank.
There we go, Brock Attewell. Lights it up like only he can.
Oh, man.
Number 5, Cohen Bailey. Back-to-back hits by North Harbour. There he is. Yeah, that was better than average, wasn't it, Brock? Yeah, not too bad.
We go to tiebreak, Kerry, and then North Harbour put on 4.
Oh. I mean, it just underlines their credentials in the tournament, though, doesn't it?
Just, you know, do they... Yeah. Oh, I'm just...
I mean, really, that is classy.
What has this game not had?
Ho, ho, ho! And Riley Markia strikes out Cohen Bailey. And instead of being happy, they're decidedly unhappy. Wellington's turn now to show us what they can do in the bottom of the 8th innings. We'll find out what happens when we come back in just a minute. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're in the bottom of the 8th innings now. But what a stunner we just had from North Harbour at the top of the 8th innings. They put 4 runs on in the tiebreaker. And Wellington, who really did an enormous amount of hard work to get back on par with North Harbour, Scotty, they're just staring back down the barrel of a big deficit all of a sudden and in very short time.
Tiebreaker, Gary, we talked about it. North Harbour puts on 4.
Yeah.
Just to lead it off, you know.
Yeah.
Just in case we needed more action in this game, North Harbour takes their first step bat at tiebreaker and puts up 4.
Including one of the shots of the tournament from Brock Atiawa. The trees have grown up above that tin fence out at the back of the outfield there, but I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, and Scotty would concur that ball would have cleared the perimeter fence by some distance if it wasn't for the trees.
Which you do not see often here at Fraser Park. If you leave the yard, if you get over that white fence, that is a shot. Fraser, let's back to work, Gary.
He is. And he's got the luxury of pitching to a 4-run lead.
Yeah, but you wouldn't put it beyond Wellington in this game.
No, not the way this game's gone.
To track that down.
If they go to form, though, they're going to get back within 2.
Yeah, true. And then you will get that moment where someone gets on.
Yeah.
And then you never know.
You never know. They've already got a runner out there at 2 at the moment. So you start with the benefit of it. And there's a bloop out by Zach Boyd. Comfortably taken out there at second base.
Just had a bit of a draw change there, Gary.
Yep.
Auckland v Canterbury's now going to be on Diamond 3. And the next game on D1 at 3 o'clock will be the women's semi.
Women's semi-final.
The women's semi-final
which
will be
will
live
be
here.
Auckland and Hutt Valley.
Yes, Gary. Before he's finished writing it, you're onto it.
I'm onto it, mate. Auckland, Hutt
Some
Valley.
people are just better, you know. They're just better. They're just that cut above. Just stay locked in.
Stay locked in, focused. We know our jobs now. We've done it for a few years.
Yeah, I'm still learning.
You're setting the bar, mate. You're setting the standard.
Is that hard dipper, Gary?
It is. It's been a go-to pitch for him.
Yeah, it doesn't work on this occasion with Riley, but it's...
Riley Markia, who, to be fair, was pretty pumped and angry when he came off the diamond from pitching in the top of the inning, now has an opportunity to direct some of that adrenaline towards the ball. And try not to duck too far from that one as it comes back to the fence.
What am I doing?
What are you doing, Scotty?
Man, I was ducking out the way as if there wasn't a window and a fence in the way.
And an expensive monitor.
And a monitor. Yeah. Yeah, you wouldn't put it past Riley here to be ready to capitalise on his own mistake. Yeah. He presented the barrel.
He presented the barrel, as we have now learned.
We now know that means you're going to be given out.
And that meant death for Riley Markia, who struck out. And what is an enormous comeback for Dylan Fraser. Listed disappointment of seeing Damon Creasy put one out of the yard to have Wellington even the ball game up in the 7th innings. But 2 down now. We're back into one swing territory. Hit and hope.
Yeah,
this time it's Tikarika Kupanakola.
His focus will be firm. You know, his one swing won't change this game too heavy. So he just needs to be on the base and give that opportunity up to someone else.
Yeah.
He's smart enough. He's experienced enough. He's played enough at the top level to know even if I hit a home run here, we're behind by 2. So really my job is to make sure that there's a 3 or 4 run shot.
Yeah. Give them the opportunity to win it.
Yeah. Romy's the same. He'll come up knowing the situation. He doesn't really have the ability not to try and smash the ball.
Well, Jerome, to be fair to him, will have seen this situation a million times in his career. Yeah. The softball that boy has played.
And he's easily one of the best hitters in the world, not just this country.
Yeah, yes. World softball.
So we know
his record with the New York Gremlins, the team he plays for over at the ISC, speaks for itself as well.
Fraser List has done a really good job, like, we keep saying on his bounce back, but also just with their best hitters.
Yeah, absolutely.
and Romy and Riley.
This time, this is going to score the run. And just as you spoke, Scotty, he scored the runner from 2. The ball game comes back to within 3 runs. Jerome Ramaki up to bat with a runner at 1. Gets the opportunity to pull it in a little bit closer.
Did I miss the second out of the innings? I saw Riley. Where's the other one come from? What am I doing?
I did see it.
Yeah, good. Anyway, Romy to the plate. I can only trust the monitor.
Tekirika Cooper Nicola.
Yep.
Would have been the second out.
So is it 1 out?
Must be 1 out.
Yeah, that's in there. So 2-0.
Must be 1 out. Zach Boyd escaped us.
Escaped us. I like the way you said us.
2 down.
Because now it groups you in with me as part of the mistake.
Yeah, but that's only my first. You've gone AWOL with your memory on several occasions. It's been embarrassing, really, Scotty.
Yeah.
This time it's a pass ball that's going to let Cooper Nicola scamper across to third base. And without even trying, Jerome Ramaki has moved the runner from 1 to 3.
What are they checking here?
Be interesting.
Oh, this is a re-entry.
This stage of the game.
Oh my Lord.
Wellington re-entry of a
Re-entry.
He's already faced a couple of pitches. They didn't even re-enter him.
Oh, Romy. I'd say the Wellington scorer has probably reminded Gino of that one.
Hey, coach.
Hey,
Get
coach.
over there and re-enter our hitter.
Otherwise, you're not going to see the end of the game.
Oh, lovely.
Penalty for that could be the ejection of the coach.
You
Had forgotten to do the paperwork on re-entering Jerome Ramaki.
His placid nature, Gino, just strolls on down. Time out.
Yeah.
Hey, bro. Just like to re-enter. Jerome Ramaki. Yeah. Yeah. All good. Right.
Just like that. Just like that.
I don't think North Harbour, with the state, not just
with
of the
what's
game.
at stake in this ball game.
Yeah. Let's just go. Let's go. Let's play. I'm sure their scorer was on.
This game's been enormously competitive, but has also been played in very good spirit.
Yeah.
Enormously competitive ball game.
It's had a really good edge to it without it being
without going over
nasty.
the top.
Yeah. Good point, Gary.
And Romy earns another walk. Cooper Nicola standing up at 3. There's a run has scored.
Yep, go ahead. Wellington DR at first base. And Callum's out in the game.
Designated runner comes in for Jerome Ramaki as Ollie Smith, number 13. And it is Wayne Laulu, who probably won't be waiting for a signal.
Yeah, I think he's like...
He won't be turning to Gene Lutton and going, what do you want me to do, coach?
Well, I mean, we've got a 3-run ball game here now. After that, we've got 2 runners on.
Yep.
Oh, dear.
Oh, dear.
We have Wayne Laulu and Taweda Bishop.
So, North Harbour, a little bit of pressure here now because the tying run is now at the plate with 2 runners on. Runners on the corners, in fact.
And the tying run that's at the plate is the imposing figure of Wayne Laulu.
Who just wanted to do enough to let that runner scamper across to 2. Job done. I'll do Gene's job here now and say, Wayne, just hit away.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure he'd love that.
Yep.
I mean, step right up, Gary Dohihi.
Oh, and he's tried. He's launched one high in the air. It's a moonshot. It's coming down in left field. Who gets underneath it and takes the catch, and that's going to end the pain for the Wellington team. That was put on them in the top of the 8th innings. We've had a wonderful display of softball out there today, ladies and gentlemen. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, but it's North Harbour who underline their credentials as the top qualifier on their side of the competition. They are going through to the 1v2 game. Scotty, what a marvellous advertisement for our sport that game was.
Yeah, just as these two teams shake hands, congratulations both of you. What a display of fast-pitch softball. Thank you, North Harbour. Thank you, Wellington. Thank you, the umpires and scorers, because that was special. Don't go anywhere if you want to miss. If you don't want to miss any more of that action. Gary, what's coming up, mate?
And what's coming up at 3 o'clock, which is the next game on Diamond 1, is the 1v2 game between Auckland and Hutt Valley in the women's competition. And I can tell you that competition has been extremely close, and anyone can beat anyone, so don't go anywhere. Scotty, you said it all. That ball game was a treasure to behold, and I'm going to enjoy that for quite some time. But for now, that's us here at Ballpark Broadcasting. From myself, Gary Rohe, Scott Easthope, and the rest of the team, thank you very much, and goodbye.